welcome to the only award show that really matters, the Master of Unlocking TV Show of the Year, or the Toadies. Hey,
yay!
We're only 2 months late.
Hey, it's a month and the Oscars just happened.
That's
Yesterday.
That's movies, but that's okay.
No, it's fine. The Emmys are on a dumb cycle anyway.
They
so
really are.
You know what? Yeah. Oh, how is the Mountain Dew Zero Sugar?
It tastes like Mountain Dew.
Okay.
I haven't had a Mountain Dew in about a decade, but this fucking tastes like Mountain Dew.
Did Bryan Cranston get you to buy a Mountain Dew?
I will. Brian Cranston told me to buy, I don't know, a washer and dryer. I would go out and buy it. I already have one. You really need this one, Jason. Okay, Brian, you're right. I do.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So Jason's over there drinking his Mountain Dew with zero sugar in it. Caleb, what are you doing over there?
I'm looking at this spreadsheet and very anxious to get going here.
All right. Well, I'm Logan, and I will be unwrapping cough drops for ASMR purposes on the. No, this is just.
Is that a thing?
I don't know if it is.
Here we go again. We're getting wildly off track.
Let's put it this way: as a connoisseur of ASMR videos, I have not seen anyone open up a cough drop on a video before.
See, that's a market inequity.
I think
that's
okay.
What Logan needs to dedicate his life to now.
You know what else is a market inequity? Caffeine-free and diet soda. You have like two choices, and that's it. And this is caffeine-free Diet Pepsi.
And there's like
meh.
And it's meh.
I mean, is there really any taste difference though?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never noticed a difference. I mean, it's caffeine. It's not like it's an actual ingredient.
I don't know why, but it tastes different.
It tastes different than regular
I'm
Diet.
gonna pull out. I'm gonna bring over a regular full force Diet.
Oh
Pepsi.
no, you're gonna make me do a blind taste test.
And you tell me.
Well, I won't be able to tell
you.
you which one is which, but I could tell you that they taste slightly different.
Okay.
For the listener out there, I would like them to know long before we started putting content on the internet, we did a blind taste test, cheeseburger taste test.
Yep,
that's true.
Years ago, and our bond was grown from there.
That's true. We need another blind. We need some other taste testing
something to do.
Competition. That's
maybe soda. Sure. Maybe soda is the way to go.
Maybe soda is the way to go.
No, that'll have to be you guys. I like soda.
As you sit there with your diet.
I don't. I mean, this is because of Brian Cranston. That's the only reason. That's
so. Yes. So Jason
has caffeine.
Yeah. So Jason will be belching the entire.
Hello? I'm getting
episode.
a phone call. Hang on one second. Yes, Mr. Cranston.
He's really young.
Oh, you do want Jason to participate in this soda drinking contest?
Whatever you say, Brian. I'm in.
All right. He's in. And somehow I feel like this episode is now brought to you by Pepsi Cola.
Yeah.
Pepsi, is it PepsiCo or Pepsi Cola?
PepsiCo is the official name.
Okay.
I think there's like a bunch of things that fall underneath them. Does Frito-Lay also fall underneath them? I
believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
And also like Kentucky Hut, right?
No, that's Yum Brands.
Yeah, but isn't that also Pepsi?
No, they have.
Is it really?
I thought it was.
No, Yum Brands is its own separate stock ticker.
Okay.
Oh, it does have its own index, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's YUM.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to look this up later because I always thought they were related.
As a shareholder in Kentucky Hut,
I believe I would believe you if you said
At this point, I have said that a few times, but no, I am not a shareholder in PepsiCo or Kentucky Hut. I am a shareholder in Coke.
Do you want me to explain the format of our
Let's
I was just gonna ask you to do that.
This is kind of like that whole point in the award show when the host comes out and riffs for a little bit before we actually get to the awards.
Get to it.
That's that portion. It's over. Caleb's already on to hi, I'm here with PricewaterhouseCoopers, and I'm going to tell you how we do the awards for today.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't have an announcer voice to go to though. I just don't have it. But anyway, so a little bit different for all of our loyal listeners that follow us year after year.
There you go. So
this is a little bit different this year. So basically we're going to break this down into 4 parts. Part 1 is our blind spots, stuff that we just didn't watch, and we're literally just going to list those. Part 2 is a list of shows that we did watch, that at least one of us watched, but didn't necessarily feel super strongly about. So we don't really have anything. We either didn't really like it or we don't really have much to say about it, one or the other. Part 3 is we're going to give a bunch of stupid awards to the shows that we did really like this year. And then in part 4, we're going to make a list from 1 to 10 of the top 10 TV shows of the year and crown a winner.
All right.
Caleb, did you see updates from this today from me?
Yep.
And you put them in?
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Caleb did some editing.
Awesome. Thank
I
you.
recognized some stuff that I was just a moron and forgot that I haven't watched. I was like, oh, hey, there's that list of stuff that we said we missed this year. Oh, I watched that. Oh, crap. So, yeah, let's go ahead and go through the list of our blind spots. This is basically, I don't know, just stuff we didn't watch.
This is a list. I went through the Emmys and the Golden Globes. Anything that was nominated for either of those that was not on our list
Is
on
here. Interesting. I like that.
Plus a couple of other random things that I was like,
It's-
oh yeah,
This is easier than video games in a way because it's a little more culturally tracked,
yeah,
Mhm.
like critically.
yep.
So that gives us it gives you basically a quick query to run and like, here it is. Here's the list. That's cool.
All right.
Who wants to read these?
You want to? Sure.
Go
I've
ahead.
got it up. Let's go. American Horror Story.
How many seasons of that?
They don't do official seasons.
Oh, sorry,
They're,
well,
so
whatever
I
you wanna
wouldn't-
call 'em.
Yeah, they're all have like a title to them.
Was this 1984?
Yeah,
This last
that
one?
was the relevant one for. This is about the year 2019, by the way.
Yes.
we didn't say
yes,
that ever.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. Yes. Yeah,
sorry. And
yeah.
there will be some spoilers thrown in here. Probably
I'm about
here
to
and there.
spoil the shit out of shows. So look
Okay.
out.
Right.
Here they come. Here's Mountain Dew Zero Sugar. I'm sorry.
Jack. Okay. So American Horror Story. Yeah, we didn't watch that. My wife watched that. Let's put it that way. Better Things. Anybody?
That has the lead in that.
Pamela
It's
Adlon.
it's an FX show. She was on Lucky Louie and then Louie, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So she's been Louie's running mate for a while, and then she was on Californication after that.
She was,
I think she's funny. I
I
really
think she
like
is
her.
too. And also, little trivia: she's the voice of Bobby in King of the Hill.
Yep.
She's Bobby's
She's
voice.
Bobby.
Yeah.
That I hear it
Do you hear
now.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
I just learned that like a year ago, and it blew my mind.
I'm kind of broken on the inside a little bit.
I know,
That's wild. I think she's funny, but I don't have a good excuse for not watching that
I
show.
don't
I
either.
guess
There's too much TV.
it's a
That's
half
what it
hour,
is.
right?
It's a half
Yeah, we're
hour
not going
show.
to get to everything.
Yeah.
That's just.
Okay.
Black Monday. I don't even know what that is.
I honestly don't know what that is.
All right, moving on. I don't
Right.
know what it is.
Blackish.
Blackish is okay. Anthony Anderson. is
I like
okay.
Anthony Anderson. He was great in The Shield years ago. I think that actually made Anthony Anderson.
No, I think California Dreams made Anthony Anderson.
Fine. I'll accept that.
Thank you. Catastrophe. It's an Amazon show, British stuff, right? I tried watching the first season,
I
just
think
couldn't get
so.
into it.
I think it's like a divorce.
Yeah,
couple or
like they keep
something? I
getting
don't
back
remember.
together. Yeah, tried watching it, couldn't get into it. Catch 22.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't watch this.
Catch 22.
Oh, am I thinking of the right thing?
You
Is
didn't
this the
Catastrophe.
Clooney?
You
Is
didn't
this the
catch that
Clooney?
one?
Is this the Clooney thing? What am I thinking of?
Yeah, this is the Clooney one.
Oh,
Yep.
it is?
Yeah.
What
Is
is
it a
on Hulu.
show?
Yeah.
It is on Hulu.
Yep.
I kept meaning to watch this. Too,
Yeah, I
but
meant to
did
watch
just
it.
come and go
think
without
I think
any.
it just kind of went like I don't think anybody really had a whole lot to say about it. I think it was just kind of one of those. Yeah, it's a TV
Shit.
show.
I feel like I missed that one. I do.
Oh.
I would have probably scrambled.
But if
and
I
watched
feel,
that
I feel
one.
like if it was actually good, people would have. There might
Right.
be a little
anybody
buzz
that
around
we
it.
run circles around, like
Yeah,
nobody said
mentioned
anything
it.
really.
That
Yeah.
seems like that maybe it's a good pass. Catherine the Great.
This was 2019. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It's HBO. I was curious about this. It has the male lead, and it is a guy from what's the old Showtime show? I can't remember. It was one of the original Showtime
Arliss?
premium.
Oh no, wait, that
No,
was
it's on
HBO.
HBO. Brotherhood was the name of the show.
Oh, okay.
and
Homeland, because that's been on for
It's on
25
last season.
seasons.
It was, dude.
So-
Yeah, we're entering the last season of Homeland
Yeah.
right now. You guys are lucky we don't have. They skipped a year.
I know.
Yeah.
So you guys are lucky I don't have to cape up for Homeland, but be prepared, put on armor, even if it sucks. It's amazing.
I'll watch
All right.
this last season. That's
Sorry,
for sure.
Catherine the Great. I will actually watch this. This is a good list. I'm going to probably watch
Okay.
some things on this list.
Dead to Me.
Don't know what that is.
It's a Netflix show, but I don't know anything
Yeah.
about it.
All right then.
Okay, there's a lot of Netflix shows that are dead to me, frankly. Dickinson, that's an Apple TV Plus show that documentary now.
IFC, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Sure.
And I tried to watch a couple episodes, but you really need to have seen the documentary they're making.
Oh, they're spoofing a documentary.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a documentary spoof show.
yeah,
I
it's
know that.
Fred Armisen and
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember
I
who
knew it was
else,
Fred,
but-
but I didn't know
Okay.
anybody else.
Euphoria. This is the HBO Zendaya.
I think that show is very good. The 2 episodes are really good. It's not for me because I have a daughter, but
it's not for me because I thought it was boring.
Never tried
I think that's fair. I think Euphoria is particularly it's a pretty brave show. It's about high school kids like experimenting with drugs and sex and disobedience and overprivilege, but it's also like an unvarnished look at what it's like to be a kid right now. A lot of that comes with like just like online bullying and peer pressure and shit that even just now I'm 36 years old and I do not know what it's like to be a teenager right now. And it's a very raw look at that it makes me really uncomfortable. I think it's good, but like I can't. I just can't. I can't. That's my review of Euphoria. I think it's good.
Fosse Verdon.
This was Michelle Williams and
Sam
Rockwell.
Sam Rockwell. Yeah, I couldn't think of his last
FX.
name. Yeah, I mean, both good actors. It's nothing about.
I don't
the
even know what
story.
it's about. I don't even know who
it's
Fosse
about Bob
Verdon are.
Fosse. It was about, I believe, the lead up into the first run of Chicago, the musical.
Oh, okay, sure.
And their relationship. I guess I just didn't have any interest in it.
That's just not my my genre.
His Dark Materials. This is the Chronicles of Narnia thing.
No,
is that right?
Nope,
wrong.
No, this is
Golden Compass.
Golden Compass. Sorry, wrong children's book turned into high fantasy.
It's got McAvoy,
right?
Yeah, James McAvoy, and then who's the lead in Luther? The female lead, the serial killer. What's her name? I can't remember the actress's name.
I have no idea.
She's a good actress.
Yeah.
I don't know. You got to pick stuff, right? I didn't watch it.
How to Get Away with Murder. There's your ABC procedural.
Another show that's been on for I think 28
I think
years
it's only
or
been on
something.
for a few.
Really?
It hasn't been on that
It's been
long.
on forever.
I Am the Night.
I watched I Am the Night.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I was afraid that would happen, but that show's fine. It was.
So it belongs.
I thought it would be
in part two?
awesome. It does.
That's
Like,
okay.
it was
We don't
fine?
need to distinguish between one and two.
I was really excited about that show. I thought it looked cool, but then it winds up being a TNT show. What?
Oh,
That?
oh, that's right. No,
Come on,
now that
Chris
you-
Pine.
Now that
Come
you say-
on.
oh, that's right. I remember that now.
They would. I think maybe during
It was
the
advertised
playoffs
during
where they were
playoffs,
running
yeah.
like a ton.
Yeah.
I was like,
of
why have I
ads
heard
for
that
it.
before? I couldn't remember what it was.
And
Living
that
with
and Claws,
Claws, yes.
Yeah,
which
you're
is
right.
not on this list, but
Yeah.
Living with Yourself.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that
to be
is
honest.
either.
All right, move on.
Pose. That's another
FX.
Ryan Murphy show.
I didn't
Sure.
watch it.
Let's go with that. Rami.
Don't know what that is.
Rami, I think, was a Hulu show about.
Oh, that's
Like
right.
the
The guy won
comedian-
the guy who won Best Actor for
Yeah.
Golden Globe for a comedy series. The guy from this.
What network again?
Hulu.
Hulu. Okay.
Yeah. Schitt's Creek.
I've been meaning to start watching Schitt's Creek. I've heard. Really
I've
good
heard
things.
people like it. I just don't really care for the actors that are in it.
Who's in it?
The only one I know is Chris Elliott.
People.
Oh.
So if you're so all those like the Canadian people.
Yeah.
What is the guy from the dad from American Pie, the mom from Home Alone. They've done like Best in Show. That's all of those people that are in that type of thing. That's that show.
The only person that I know from it is Chris Elliott. Do you know who that is?
I know who he is. Cabin Boy, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All I could. Oh, I want to fall in love.
No, that's Chris Isaac.
I was like, wait a second. I'm not,
So
I'm not
it's
connecting
It's a
correctly.
Chris with the same with first name as the last name. You're
He's
not
just
far off.
I don't know. That's what I heard immediately, and I was like, "This is wrong. Don't say it out loud." And I said it out loud.
No, it's fine. The Act.
I don't know what the act is
All
either.
right, okay. Two shows next that are big shows that neither of us watch. The Handmaid's Tale and The Kaminsky Method.
Handmaid's Tale, I thought was really, really boring. But
the first season.
Other people think it's the greatest show ever. So
I think it's because I'm gonna get slapped for this, but I think it's because of the social part of it. There, I just got hit.
Bad look.
There,
yeah,
I know.
get off your soapbox.
Right, I know. But I'm just saying. I think that's why people
Get
like it.
woke, Logan.
No, sorry. Kaminsky Method.
I
is
actually would watch this. I
it's
chose other things, but I would probably be able to get through the
got a
Kaminsky
couple
method.
solid
Probably,
actors.
yeah.
It's decent
Yeah.
premise. Yeah, haven't pulled up Showtime.
I
in a
like
while.
Michael Douglas a lot.
Yeah,
I always have. The American. You guys ever seen An American President? That movie from the '90s where he plays the
years
president.
ago. Yeah,
It's a good movie. He's a good actor.
The Politician.
I don't know what that is.
Probably because it has the most generic title for a TV show
Right.
of all time.
Okay, fair enough. The Twilight Zone, that's
CBS
a CBS All
All
Access thing.
Jordan
which-
Peele.
Jordan Peele hosts it, so you mean he's on it for what, a minute and a half?
He wrote a few of the
He wrote a
episodes
few of the
too,
episodes,
I
yeah.
think.
Have you guys watched any?
No.
No, CBS All Access is a whole other world to me. I don't even know what that is. I know what it is, but I'm just not going to engage in it. The Umbrella Academy. I think my wife watched a few episodes of this. I think her and her family were all watching it and texting about it one day, but I don't know. I don't know really.
This
what-
was definitely the year of the like fake superhero shows. And
Is that
that's
what it
another
was?
One of them.
Oh, yeah. This Is Us. No thanks.
I can't do it.
Yep, me neither.
Nope.
Congratulations. We can't do it.
No.
Proud of you guys.
No.
That's just us.
And then there's the other.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, my mind was going.
My fault too. I didn't. You know.
we also
sorry.
we also left its ABC counterpart, A Million Little Things,
All right.
which
I don't know. I've never heard
So
of that.
right, it's so basically after the first season of This Is Us was so big, ABC was like, "Hey, what if we put a bunch of different people who all look different and say they're all part of the same family together, and then make every episode make people cry? Let's do that." And then they called it A Million Little Things, and it's on ABC. And then there's Undone. I don't know what
I
that
don't
is
even know
either.
what that
Okay,
is either.
all right. So
Those are the
those
shows
are
we
all
didn't
shows we
watch.
did not watch.
That's a lot of TV,
Yeah.
man.
That's a lot of very good TV. And like,
Eh.
wait till you get to the list that we did watch.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm excited.
There's so much out there.
So alphabetically now we are heading towards shows that we watched, but maybe weren't so great enough that they would make a top 10 list this year. They might make
Yeah.
a personal top 10, but like maybe farther down on the list.
We'd rather pick our battles elsewhere.
Correct. We can just start rattling through this. AP Bio. This is an NBC joint.
Yeah, it moved. Wait,
It's only on NBC's digital platform, right?
now it is. I think the upcoming season is. I
Yeah.
think that's what that move was. It's good. It's funny.
Sitcomish, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. American Gods.
was just the worst TV I watched this year.
Oh,
like,
no.
literally the worst TV.
Wasn't
I
it
watched this
okay the first season?
year. Yeah.
Yeah, Caleb recommended the first season, and I jumped in, and it's difficult, but it's worth watching because it's pretty unique. The first season, I watched the first 2 episodes of the second season. It was not thrilled, and then you told me to not finish.
Yeah.
So,
It's really,
Oh.
really bad.
it's a
Okay.
shame. Just
All right.
when you think Stars is not going to stars on you, Stars is
Man,
on you.
Stars. You got a Vikings on us now too. No, we don't want to watch Vikings either. We just said that. Andy Mack.
Andy Mack is over. It ended.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
God it's never going to be on the
There
list
was
again.
the one thing I want to say about Andy Mack is that I have a conspiracy theory about one of the episodes because I don't know if
Disney
you guys
Channel conspiracy
yes, but I don't know if
theories,
you guys heard, but one of the grandpa on the show was fired for sexual misconduct allegations.
All right, I like
against
it.
children.
Yes.
Oh,
Wow.
nice.
From the Disney Channel. There's one episode in the middle of the season right after that stuff came out that's 13 minutes long. And my theory is that he had a subplot that they had to cut from the show.
That has to be
Just
it.
so
No,
they
that's
can-
not a conspiracy theory. That is it. There's no other way around it.
I bet you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Arrested Development. I didn't realize that was still on.
It came back
Came
for
back.
the
Okay.
5th season, I think. It's better than the 4th season. But it's not like it used to be.
Right. I mean, and so that had what, 2 seasons on Fox and now 3 on Netflix? Is that
3 on Fox,
3
2
on Fox, 2 on
Netflix.
Netflix? Okay. All right. Ballers.
Ballers is over.
Oh no!
I didn't know
kind
it
of
ended.
sad.
I never
Yeah,
watched
it
a single
ended.
episode of Ballers.
Yeah, you don't need to.
Okay.
The Rock's in it though, and The Rock is always entertaining. So
True. Yeah. Okay. Baskets. How's that
Baskets
doing?
also ended.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why, like, this season felt a little weird, like they were trying to wrap stuff up. I don't know if they got canceled and they were like, okay, well, we'll give you an opportunity to close it out. It just felt a little weird. It didn't feel like the show normally does. But it's still extremely watchable. It's just not great.
Okay. Big Little Lies. I think that's only me. The season was not as good as the first.
Which is surprising because Streep's in this season.
right. That being said, big actors. I mean, that's this whole that whole show is all about big name actresses. I think it's still a good show. This would have probably still fallen on my personal top 10, but not as high as it definitely would have been last year. Still very, soapy style show, but there's still a lot of, good mystery and stuff there. I'd still say it's worth a watch even, but
I might watch it.
That'd be, yeah.
You make choices.
Yeah. So,
but I'm still not uninterested in that show. I really liked the first season of Big Little Lies.
Right. Yeah, I would still recommend watching the second season then if you get a hot moment.
Okay.
Broad City.
Caleb.
Speaking of shows that are over,
There's a lot of shows over.
A lot of shows that got the axe this year. It's a really good final season, but it doesn't really stick out above the other seasons of that show.
Okay. Carol and Tuesday. I don't even know what that is.
Carol and Tuesday is an anime by the guy that made Cowboy Bebop.
Fuck me. What?
But
And
it's not
excuse me?
It is not anywhere near what Cowboy Bebop is.
Okay. Yeah.
It's about two girls set in the future when Mars is colonized, and they play music on Mars, and there's not a ton of plot. It's
Hijinks ensue.
What?
Hijinks ensue.
Yeah.
Not even hijinks.
Just no, not really.
Not even
really
hijinks.
any hijinks. Occasional hijinks.
Okay.
It's
All
more like serious and emotional. The music is really, really
Is
good.
it? Okay.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, sure.
And what's weird is everything is in Japanese except for the songs. The songs are all in English, which is a little strange.
So, will it be coming back for a second season, or is it a standalone?
I think it's
thing?
a standalone thing.
Yeah. As we talk about this and things ending, or Arrested Development especially, as we look at some of these shows, it's got to come up in our conversations probably, but there are shows that are on too long,
Oh, yeah.
That seems to be a problem pretty regularly.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day, and I think that's one of the reasons why I love Cowboy Bebop so much, is because I was left wanting more and will forever want more of that.
I think that's why we're seeing more limited series these days. It's like, or these anthology type things of, hey, we're going to tell the same story in the same universe, but the people are going to change, and yeah, you like this universe, but you can only tell so many stories without getting now you're just making up shit.
Yeah.
Like just to get yourself through 26 episodes of a season or whatever it is. So yeah, that's what are we at? Oh, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina.
I actually did not watch the third season, which just came out, I think, 2 weeks ago.
Oh,
that's I think I'm
2020.
done with it. Yeah, I think I'm done with that show. I just don't really have any interest in watching any more of it.
All right, fair. Creep Show.
Creep Show is on Shudder. I don't know if you guys.
Oh, I know what Shudder is.
Oh, yeah.
Shudder.
Yeah, and I wanted to watch something that was on Shudder, so I watched it, and it's
Have you ever
not
seen
bad.
that ad? Shudder.
I don't know if I have.
There's like it was in the early days of streaming. It would show like everything that they're running, and it's always Shudder. And then it showed like what movies are running. Shudder. And then it showed more movies. Shudder. And more movies.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it's an anthology series, so each episode's different. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Everywhere in between.
Deadly Class.
Deadly Class was canceled, and I'm mad about that. Deadly Class was on Sci-Fi, and it's about a school for assassins. And I thought it was really good, and then they canceled it after one season.
Disenchantment.
I like Disenchantment. I know you don't really like
I don't know what
Disenchantment.
that is.
But
I don't even know if I know what Oh, is that the Matt Groening show?
Yeah.
I tried it. I think it again goes back to my complete disdain for high fantasy.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's funny, and it's more of a like through line story than a like one off like The Simpsons
Right,
is.
yeah. So it's not a sitcom.
Right.
I mean, it's a half-hour comedy, but it is, yeah. So
I think it's really funny that this next one is on this list.
that Game of Thrones is on the. We watched it.
I don't.
Would it make your personal top 10?
I wish I had put one together because I don't know the answer to that. I don't think so.
Okay.
I do think that there's something to be said for the long night.
Yeah.
That's a very cultural thing that happened. Everyone that watched that show watched it together, watched it that week, watched how the Night King thing was resolved. And I don't think that episode was too dark because I realized it was dark on purpose. Like that was very purposeful. And that episode of TV will always stick with me because better or worse, no matter whether you care about how that is resolved. Like, I was worried about all of the characters, and they do a really good job of making you think, especially now where people that watch a lot of TV, they're like, okay, this person's getting a ton of screen time. They're toast. And this person's saying goodbye to this character. They're toast. Or one is confessing their feelings for the other. And it didn't do any of that tropey stuff. Like, some of that was unexpected, and I appreciated that. Having said it, the second half of that season is rough.
I was just going to say I think the end of the long night is where you start to see the cracks in we don't know how to finish this.
Yeah.
We don't know how to end this story.
Yeah. And they go, like, there's Tyrion's like, what about democracy?
Yeah.
And you're just like, ugh.
Yep.
Ugh. You could tell they were out of ideas at that point. I do think that parts of that last season are very good, and I'm also really impressed when one episode of television is an hour and 40 minutes long, and it's got a bigger budget than most major motion pictures.
Well, hour and 40 minutes is a major motion picture.
So I think I will miss that. There's only one other show that in my recent memory that did that, and it was the end of the Sons of Anarchy run, where Kurt Sutter earned a lot of leeway and went like bananas. I'd DVR it and it'd be like, final season, episode 7, 2 hours and 20 minutes. You're like, excuse me? But it was all very watchable. It was very good, but they let him go nuts, which then led to The Bastard Executioner, which was canceled after a week of airing because it was awful. So then they reined him back in and was like, do a spinoff of Sons. Fine. So I have a huge appreciation for something that size, and I don't know if we'll ever see that again.
No, I don't think we will.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah.
So
nothing that
fare
like
thee well is what I'm saying.
Yeah, nothing that literally everybody was watching at the same time live. Like, that's just not going to happen.
And the long night, you had to. You couldn't go into work the next day if you were a Thrones fan and not have seen it. It was not an option. You had to watch it. You had to watch it that night. Or else go into work or wherever tomorrow morning at the risk of spoilers, and literally do not check any social media at all, because it's just too impactful. Yeah. So I appreciate that. But having said that, second half, rough.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's on this list.
Mm-hmm. Get Shorty.
Get Shorty was this? I don't remember which season this was. If it was 2 or 3, but I think it was 2. I like the show a lot. I think that this season they didn't really have a great. I think it was a really, really, really good 1-season show. But like you guys have mentioned, I think that like stretching it out to a second and third season is a little much for this show. The concept's getting a little worn thin here. So that's why it's on here and not on the other list.
Yeah. Grey's Anatomy. Whatever. It's a show. It's still on. Harmon Quest.
It's a show that's still on.
Caleb, you got anything to say about that?
Logan walked by the TV occasionally and saw on it.
That was basically what it was. And it was like, I know enough about what's going on with that show because my wife watches it enough that I'm like, okay, sure. All right.
Harmon Quest is just Dan Harmon playing Dungeons and Dragons, basically.
Yep. I watched one episode with you. That's it.
It's a fun show.
I think you should leave with Tim Robinson.
That's a sketch comedy show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And as with every sketch comedy show, there are ones that are hilarious and ones that are
so
really, really bad.
Mm-hmm. Jack Ryan.
One time, John Krasinski tried out for Captain America, and in walked
Chris Evans.
No, it was the actor who played Thor. Help me?
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth. The other Chris, yeah. And he saw how jacked Hemsworth was, and he took the gear off and said, I can't do this. Thank you so much for the audition. When he saw the size of Hemsworth. Isn't that great? So Krasinski is in Jack Ryan. It is fine.
Okay.
It is a show that is on.
No, it's good. It's like a nice Clancy come to life thing.
Sure. Yeah.
It's got do you guys know who Wendell Pierce is? He's an African American actor. He was in The Wire.
That name sounds familiar, but I can't believe it.
Very
the name's
good.
familiar, but I can't picture him.
You guys would know him, but I
If
just
I saw
can't.
his face, I'd probably
Yeah,
be like,
he does
"Oh,
a really.
that
He's
guy."
a really nice co-star. The show is actually kind of funny. The guy from in this season, the guy from House of Cards, the Fixer.
Not watch House of Cards.
You, Caleb? No,
Nope.
No, never mind. You guys would recognize him too, probably. So yeah, the cast in the second season actually pretty strong, but
Oh, I know who Wendell Pierce is. Yeah.
yeah, what?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you've seen him before. Show Caleb.
Oh, jeez. I believe he plays like a police chief in a lot of things I've seen.
He's always a
yeah,
detective. Like he's a
Yeah.
detective or a CIA guy. He's always a police guy.
Where do I know him from? I know him from something.
He was
but I
in
don't know what.
Treme on HBO as well.
Let's see. He was in Selma, Horrible Bosses, Suits, Chicago PD, One Last Thing.
I'll look later. It's
did some-
fine.
Did some voices in Archer. Yeah, I mean it's for a lot of different things.
Okay.
Let's see. Killing Eve.
Should this be on this list?
I think there's a couple on this list that I threw here just because I couldn't think of a good award to give them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this may make it to a final list because we can move some of this stuff over.
Do you
So,
guys want to notate that since this is on a separate tab?
We can. I
stuff
don't-
from list 2 can move.
I don't
to
know
list
that
4.
I would fight hard for Killing Eve.
I don't think I will either. If there's not room, there's not room. But I do like season 2. Oh, you didn't?
I've watched season 1, but I haven't watched season 2.
Okay. Maybe we should hold off on that then.
Okay.
If neither of us are passionate and he hasn't watched it.
I like that show.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah,
I
season
think it's
1
a
was
really good
I just
show.
didn't know-
and-
I don't know
But
if
there
the
are some
follow-up-
bangers on the other list.
Yeah.
Okay. La Casa de Papel.
Or as Netflix calls it, Money
Money
Heist. Like, come on. Really, Netflix? Money Heist? I have
That's
nothing
the
to
House
say.
of the Father. I mean, I don't know. Looking for Alaska.
Looking for Alaska is on Hulu. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
It's a
Mhm.
it's a miniseries based on a young adult novel.
Hmm.
And it's super sad, like really sad. So if you want to
Okay.
cry a little bit, maybe watch this
No,
show.
I'm good.
No, crying enough lately. It's fine.
Luther.
I love Luther.
I know.
I think that show's fantastic.
I think it's okay.
I really
I've never watched it.
I know that it's not. It is a. Luther is exaggerated on purpose, and that's why I like it. Like it is. That show is Sherlock Holmes on drugs. Like he is a derivative of Sherlock Holmes, but he's dealing with like the worst, most extreme kind of people, and I kind of like that. And it's as if Holmes dies every season.
I wish this show was like the network TV 42 minutes instead of the BBC hour.
Do you think it's too
Because
long?
I think there's every episode that I watched, there was a stretch in there where I was like, oh, now I'm on my phone. I'm on Twitter right now. Why am I
Interesting.
doing this?
Yeah. Okay. I really like Idris Elba too. So there's a like personal taste thing going
Yeah.
on. Like I really like Idris Elba because of The Wire. And I think that it's a really like dark version of Sherlock Holmes, which I find interesting. It's not your dad's Sherlock Holmes.
Making it?
I love making it.
What is making it?
It's a show on, I think it's on NBC. It's Amy Poehler and
that show.
what's
with
his
Nick
name?
Offerman.
Nick Offerman.
Okay.
And it's a crafting competition reality show.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
the-
sure.
commercials for it.
Yeah.
The pitch for it is that it is a competition, but like it's a very, very lighthearted competition.
Mhm.
So like all the makers help each other out a ton and like support each other, and they're like, oh, that's really awesome what you just did there, that kind of thing. It's just very lighthearted, and like compared to a lot of this other stuff that's on this list, it's like refreshing to watch something like that.
My fault.
Oh, got it. Mindhunter.
I like that show a lot.
Yeah.
The second season has a really stupid turn where Holden's partner's adopted son may turn into being a killer, which is pretty bad. But
Sounds like it. Yeah.
I still do like the the coming of age of the FBI and the behavioral science unit, which then starts to track serial murderers, and they're tracking like historical serial killers, which is cool to like see the way that they're investigating these murders, how they have to change their tactics, and then on top of it, like they give you a name eventually, and then you Google it, and you're like, sure enough, that's someone
It's a real person from
yeah.
that time frame.
I liked the parts. I watched the first season. I did not watch this one,
Same.
but I liked the parts where they were actually talking to the serial killers. Everything in the middle, I didn't really. I didn't like at all.
It was very slow.
It's probably 50-50 in this one.
Yeah.
Maybe even more in the direction you don't want it. I can't remember. There are some really good critics like the second season a lot more than 2, and I think I like the second season more than the first one. But I can't guarantee you that it's gonna deliver the same kind of thrill. There was actually, and I don't know how do I say this without being cynical. There was a serial killer in the second season that I never heard of that murdered over 30 people.
Oh wow!
And I was like, in Atlanta, and
I bet Logan's wife knew who it was.
Oh yeah, she did.
Did she? Yeah.
I think she watched the second season. I'm just trying to remember if she liked it or not. I don't remember. I don't remember whether she did or not.
And the show's underlying tone is they're like they'll do cold opens tracking the BTK killer, and that's like one of the more horrific runs that serial killers ever had. And they're like looking for this guy.
The one where like the mayor was covering it up or something, or like there was a politician that was like wanted him to get out of town because they were getting really close to figuring it out, and it was too closely tied in.
So African American boys were being killed, and they didn't want it to be an African American doing it.
That's right.
They wanted it to be the Klan, and it turned out to not be the Klan. It was an African American guy in his 30s, and he killed over 30 boys.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like,
okay, so my wife.
I felt like terrible.
Well, we'll get back to serial killers later, though.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. But now,
once again, sorry.
we got to get into Miracle Workers.
The first season of Miracle Workers is not that great, but and then this is a 2020 show now, but the second season of Miracle Workers has been phenomenal. Like I've been laughing.
Oh, that's the
What
one with
network?
Buscemi.
This is on TBS.
Oh, TBS.
Yes, this is the Buscemi and Harry Potter thing.
So
right?
what they did was the first season is all about.
This is the high fantasy season. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Logan. But this is it's actually not high fantasy. It's just medieval.
It's medieval. Yeah.
But the first season was them as Buscemi played God,
Right.
and like, God had an assistant, and he wanted to blow up the earth and all that stuff. It was okay, but the second season they kept the exact same cast. But they all played totally different characters.
Okay. Any logic or reason behind it?
They just decided
were like,
they
"Oh, this is
wanted
what
to
we're
do
doing."
something different. And
So it's an anthology show.
It's hilarious. There's 2 episodes out as of recording, and they're both hilarious.
Okay.
You should watch Boardwalk Empire.
Modern Love. My wife watched this, and I watched it with her. It was a bunch of weird little like 45-minute things of like little love stories. It was on Amazon. Few of the actors were good.
Tina Fey was in this.
Tina
right?
Fey was in it. Was in one of them. It was fine. There was another one that specifically I remember because it was really odd about this girl who she started dating an older guy, and the older guy was like thought this was like them dating, but she just wanted to be essentially a father figure, and it got really awkward because but yet she would like flirt with him all the time and everything else, but she kept treating him like a dad, and he kept thinking it was more, and they worked in the same office. It was kind of weird, but yeah, I don't know. Show was fine. I just remember that one being like really awkward, and the whole time I was just like, oh no, stop this. This is weird. Like, My Hero.
It's not for me.
No. My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia again is another anime. It's one of the best anime shows that's currently airing, but it's not compared to the other one that made part 3 of this list.
Okay. So One Punch Man.
One Punch Man had an amazing first season and a terrible second season.
All right, there we go. Penn and Teller Fool Us. I like Penn and Teller. I can't help myself. And this is actually one of the only Penn and Teller shows that is PG.
Yeah.
And my kids like
you
magic.
can't really watch bullshit in front of the kids, can you?
Yeah. So, So they do magic stuff. There's magicians that come on, and they do a magic trick, and Penn and Teller try to guess how they did the magic trick, and that's how you win the game. Essentially, if they don't guess how you did it. Show's fine. Rick and Morty
Is good.
Okay, there's only like 4 episodes, right?
I think so. Something like that.
I kept meaning to watch it and I never did. I watched everything else up until now, but I just haven't. Schooled.
Schooled is a spinoff of the Goldbergs, and it's just
That
okay.
show's good enough to get a spinoff?
Yeah, apparently.
Okay.
I like the Goldbergs better than Schooled.
Okay. Well, most spinoffs usually don't work out as well. Sex Education. It's a Netflix joint, right?
Yeah, and it's pretty good. I like that show a lot. The second season just came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Which is pretty good, but the first season I think is way better. It's worth a watch, but it is kind of a lot of high school drama as well. So
Oh, it was high school. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
British high school drama.
All right. Shrill. That's 80 Bryan on Hulu.
Yeah, and that show. The interesting thing about that show to me is that every character on that show, they kind of write for sections where you really like them and you identify with them. And then other sections where you're like, you are awful. You're a terrible person. And it kind of goes back and forth between those, even including her, which I think is pretty interesting.
Okay. Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley ended finally.
Oh, it ended. Okay.
It probably needed to end a few seasons ago, but it did end on a high note. So
Okay. Superstore.
I still love Superstore. I just didn't
All right.
really have an award to give to it, so that's
All
why
right.
it's here.
Best Walmart spinoff.
Yeah.
How about that?
There we go. Yeah, it's
Yeah, there
It
you go.
coulda
See?
happened.
Yeah, okay, see, we could do that. The Connors.
I like the Connors a lot
You do?
too.
Oh. Every commercial I see for it, I just want to turn off my TV. I don't know why.
I don't know why. I just like.
I liked Roseanne when it was on 15 years or 20, 30 years ago, whenever it was
See,
on.
that was the thing is whenever I watched Roseanne, I always really liked Roseanne, but
Now that she's not on.
no. I'm the opposite way. Like I kind of always wanted Roseanne without Roseanne, and now we
Now
actually
you
have
Roseanne
that.
without
Yeah.
Roseanne. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
The Goldbergs. There's your
We are-
Goldbergs.
yeah, we kind of
kinda
already
hit on the
mentioned that,
Goldbergs.
yeah.
The Good Place.
The Good Place, it's cheating because it ended in 2020.
Yeah, but there was only 3 episodes, and the majority of it was in 2019. I would say
that's
that
one of
still
my
counts.
favorite finales ever of shows.
I liked it. It was it just was too predictable, but it was
Yeah, I mean,
also good.
what were they gonna do?
I guess how do you
Yeah.
end it? I don't know. The Mandalorian.
It's fine. It's
I liked
okay.
The Mandalorian. The only thing I will say when you guys were I wanted to bring this up when you were talking about Game of Thrones is I feel like this is the only other show right now that even has that kind of following.
Yeah,
It's not Game of Thrones level by any means.
it might get there too
but
because
I feel
Game of
like-
Thrones season 1 didn't.
But
have,
like, it seemed like every Friday Twitter was like, new Mando,
Yeah.
new Mando. Like,
Baby Yoda, Baby Yoda,
yeah,
Baby
and
Yoda.
it was like, and it became a cultural thing to the point where it's like, okay, like this is a thing. Like it. So I don't know if it'll ever get to that point because I don't think the drama in that show is high tier as Game of Thrones
it's a little
ever is.
too like
It's safe.
flavor of the week too. Like
Mhm.
here's Mando going on this adventure, and here's
Right.
this
It's
adventure.
a procedural, which
yeah.
is kind of like there's
Not
not
what
a
I
lot
was
of
expecting.
No. Maybe it'll change based on that. I don't know. I don't know. It just was one of those pop culture things that it actually did of a new show this year. The Terror. I don't even know what that
The
is.
second season of The Terror is an anthology. The first season was about the ship, the Terror, that was lost at sea in the late 1800s. It is now a horror anthology on AMC. This is about a young, teenage boy who is cursed by we'll call it a ring-like spirit. And he
Okay.
takes that into a Japanese internment camp during Pearl Harbor. So Pearl Harbor happens, and he brings this entity with him, and it attacks the camp. So there's a lore of like all these Japanese spirits that are in distress, not at rest, kind of thing, and it spreads throughout the camp. So it's an interesting look at something that there's not a lot of shows about Japanese Americans during this time, honestly. Good reason why.
Mhm.
And on top of that, it's got a really nice, like, Japanese horror angle, like, for lack of a better description. I really liked it a lot. It's complicated and a little bit hard to follow. There's also a lot of loose ends that aren't tied up, so it can't really hang on the list, but I will continue to watch The Terror as long as they make them. I really have liked the first 2 seasons a lot. And I'm not a big like horror show guy.
What is this on?
AMC.
AMC, okay.
Yeah, the first season I like the first season a lot. You watched
I watched the first season. I kind of had similar complaints though, oddly enough, to what you just said about the second season.
It does get a little bit messy. I really like the actor that's in Chernobyl this year that was in the first season of The Terror. I think also there's another actor, Tobias Menzies, from the first season of The Terror is in The Crown this year. He plays Prince Philip. So comparing the cast, like the first season's cast is actually pretty solid compared to this one. But I will continue to watch that show. I think it's the one of 2 AMC shows I'm watching. Yeah. And I used to watch like 5, it seemed like.
The Witcher.
It was not very good, I don't think. It's my frustration is, and this will probably come back to bite me because there's something I'm not thinking of, but I don't like shows that don't go in order. I don't like shows that go back and forth between timelines a bunch. Oh, okay. And now that I say that, there's going to be something that I go to bat for later that does that.
Yeah, I'm going to call you out on it. Don't worry.
The games are better at what the show is trying to do than the actual show.
Agreed.
I was playing the game last night. I finally got through the first expansion, and I opened up Blood and Wine, which is the last expansion, and it is like... It's like a 40-hour game.
Yeah.
It's a DLC, and it's a whole other spot. Map opens up. Quests are just like... I'm like,
That is the one thing we can give this show credit for, is it did spur an entire group of people to go play that game, which is great.
Yeah, and it's especially now when it's dirt cheap. Yeah. But I realized like I'm watching this like 25-minute long cutscene in the game, and I'm like, this is better than the show. I'm actually watching this instead of half watching it.
Yeah,
and that's like, come on, show.
Yeah.
Come on, show.
Come on, big budget show.
Henry Cavill, whatever. Come on.
You quit being Superman for this?
In his bad Geralt voice. And
oh, no.
People watched it, though. I mean, they renewed it right away.
Yeah.
The
World According to Jeff Goldblum. I like the show a lot.
Is that good? I think I'll watch it.
It's Goldblum, you know, he's a quirky, weird guy. I mean, and it's stuff that, like, oddly enough, my daughters want to watch it. They think it's like a great show. Like, it's a half hour of like, hey, we're gonna go learn about the history and the cultural impact of ice cream.
That's the one I did watch, and I hated it. I don't like Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you don't like Jeff Goldblum, you don't like him
as an actor. I like him in the roles that he portrays. As a person, I don't like Jeff Goldblum.
There you go. And Jason is getting up and leaving.
He's too weird for me.
He is a weird dude. I mean, he's a completely weird dude. So
he's so weird that it feels inauthentic to be that weird. Yeah. I don't know. It's strange.
I think he's probably still probably playing up his weirdness in this show.
That's what I don't like.
Just I feel like Jeff Goldblum is Kingdom Hearts 3, and I'm being attacked right now, Logan. All right, I don't really.
I've been there.
Feeling very raw right now.
Tidying up with Marie Kondo.
Oh, what is this on? Is this an Netflix show?
Yeah. Marie Kondo taught me how to fold a fitted sheet, and I will be forever grateful to her for that.
You know what you do with a fitted sheet? You wad it up into a ball and you throw it into the pillowcase, and that's how you
then it gets all wrinkled.
You lay it out flat and it's fine. Like you once you put it on the bed, it's not wrinkled anymore.
It's very simple, but you just put it upside down on the floor, and then it makes a square, and you can just fold it.
Too much work.
Tropical
cocktails.
You skipped Top Chef, but that's fine.
No, I'm skipping reality competition shows.
Why?
Because it's not TV.
Top Chef is an exception to that. Top Chef is very, very good. It wins like best reality constantly.
All right, I'm throwing House Hunters on here too.
Okay. Did you like House Hunters?
No, House Hunters sucks. But it's something safe you can throw on that. Like,
you can't just draw an arbitrary line. This is not TV.
I don't know. I guess I was saying like something scripted.
If you want to call something not TV, call Tropical Cocktails not TV.
I don't even know what Tropical Cocktails is.
It's an Adult Swim show that's not very good.
Oh, okay. Unbelievable.
Show on Netflix that I recently watched because I wanted to watch it. 8 episodes long. It's about a true story that is horrifying. When a girl tells the police that she's been raped, they don't believe her. And then worse, they file a false reporting complaint against her and sue her. And then it leads to a rapist who gets 8 other women. True story. In Colorado. This guy they thought they were looking at a member of the police because he didn't leave any DNA or any real evidence behind him, but it just turned out to be a guy who watched a lot of like real crime and knew
Of course.
how to not get caught. And he was going from different police districts, so none of the detectives were working together. Having said that, the show's it's fine. It's fine.
Veronica Mars.
I was really excited for Veronica Mars to come back, but then I realized that a big component of Veronica Mars was the high school component, which is not there anymore because she's not in high school anymore.
Yeah.
And it didn't really work as well.
Is it like Saved by the Bell, the new class? Or no, like the college years? I don't know. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
You mean the Better Saved by the Bell?
Right.
Yeah, that one.
I don't know how you pulled that out of your
Zach's
ass,
hair.
but that was the perfect analogy.
Okay.
Well done.
All right.
Bob Golick in that show, right?
Bob Golick's in
Yeah.
that show. That's right. Wellington Paranormal.
This is the other What We Do in the Shadows spinoff.
Oh.
It's a New Zealand show. It's Taika Waititi.
Give me some Taika Waititi.
He acts in this too, and he's hilarious. It's funny. I think there's only like 12 episodes or something, so between 2 seasons. But it's not nearly as good as the other one that we'll talk about, so that's why it's here.
Right. Speaking of Taika Waititi, you like most of the stuff he does?
Okay. Hit or miss.
Okay.
I didn't really like Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna see. If that was, I was like, I love Thor, and it's Thor Ragnarok. I know you didn't love it. When They See Us.
That's I don't know the word for it. It's based on just skip this.
Okay,
it's
all right.
fine.
It was a show.
It was a show.
happened.
It was fine.
You.
Did you watch any of You?
I am on episode 8 of 10.
Okay. This is almost a guilty pleasure show for me. It's so
I
bad.
like this show too much.
Was that 2018? Was the first season?
The first season was. The second season is right now.
I just can't believe this show
There's
started out on Lifetime.
It's still shot like it's on Lifetime too. That's what the funny part is they're still like they shoot it like it's gonna have a commercial break in it.
Yeah.
And it kills me every time. I just make fun of it every time. And it is like, it's a well done soap opera.
Yeah,
I
want to talk to you after you finish it
because I know I really wanted to finish it.
What?
I really
Is it only going to be 2 seasons?
No, they renewed it for a 3rd season.
I knew. I figured they would, but man,
Just be prepared. It's bad TV.
Put it this
I watched Preacher.
Okay, so the first season was on Lifetime, so it had commercials. So there would be like a legitimate like cliffhanger before a commercial break. Well, now it's exclusively on Netflix, and now they have like a cliffhanger thing that happened. It go to black and then immediately come right back. Yes. It's like, what the fuck? Like, why are you still shooting it this way?
They should put commercials in there, or even fake commercials. They should go Kojima.
God, I would love them.
Here's Mountain Dew Zero Sugar.
Okay. God damn it, you. Younger.
Younger it's on TV Land. It's one of their only like original.
I heard someone talk about this today for the first time.
Really?
Like, out of nowhere. That's why I was like, what the hell?
It's a woman that to get a job at a book publisher, she pretends that she's like 42 or something like that, and she pretends to be 26.
Right.
And then she has to try to hide that from everybody. It's a little bit. It's also a little bit soapy in that way.
It's on TV Land. Yeah, I mean, I have
It's
low
got
expectations.
Hillary Duff in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hillary Duff's getting work. That's nice.
Yeah. And I like it. And they just finished season 6, so and I think it's coming back again. So
okay. All right. Well, that was an exhaustive list there.
I added a show.
You added a show?
Since reality shows count now.
Oh, no. I didn't want to count them.
Well, you didn't click out of the box, though, so we can't see what you typed.
Yeah, I can't see.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It just... Ghost Nation.
I don't even know what that is.
So there was a sci-fi show called Ghost Hunters years ago that my then girlfriend, then fiance, then wife watched. It was a reality paranormal show before Travel Channel turned into like
All
just
ghost hunters all the time.
paranormal TV. So they disbanded, I think, 4 years ago, and one of the guys, his lead, just got a show on Travel, and the other one got a show on, we don't have access to it on YouTube TV, whatnot, A&E. And so I haven't watched the A&E one, but Ghost Nation is the three of the main hunters from Ghost Adventures, and it's pretty much the same formula. They go into someone's home, they're complaining about stuff going on, and then they take their cameras in to document. And what I like about this is it's not, what I've always liked about it is it's not like they will leave the house without saying like, look, you're having problems with stuff. Maybe you're nuts. Maybe you need help because we didn't find anything. Like there will be episodes where they analyze like the footage and there's nothing there. But last week there was an episode that Aaron and I are slowly turning through our DVR. Like they caught somebody walking through the kitchen and they disappeared. Like this thing in broad daylight manifested, walked through the fucking kitchen, and poof, went away. And it was like, because they go through so many episodes, if it is fake, they spend a lot of time not finding anything. And then this one thing, it's like, what is that? It makes me super uncomfortable.
I can't watch ghost shows. They fucking creep me out.
Well, that's exactly what
I just don't do it.
that's what it was, is because they've found like nothing over and over and over, and then all of a sudden in the middle of the day, because they're usually investigating at night, and they just let the cameras roll in the middle of the day, and like all of them are like, what is that? And they'll do like the pre-commercial tease.
Oh yeah.
And so he turns his laptop around and he's like, what? Like
and then they cut to break. Commercial break,
and they look legitimately like shocked, and they're all really excited.
They're just surprised too.
That's what makes me wonder. Like, do you fucking really see this, or is this fake? Like, I don't really know. And the way it looked, like, it sure did look like a real dude just came out of nowhere and then evaporated.
Right.
So there you go. I like Ghost Nation.
Okay.
And it counts.
And I'm creeped out. I forgot
Excellent.
one show that I watched that doesn't belong anywhere. South Park.
I stopped watching South Park because I think it's bad now.
No, it's fucking terrible now. Matt and Trey, you guys were funny. Get your shit together. Take that show off the air.
Yeah.
It's just not even worth
You
watching
made enough
anymore.
money. Go do something else for a while.
Just quit doing the show or whatever, because it's not good anymore. Okay. Before we go to part 3, do we want to take a quick stretchy break?
What do you guys want to do? Do you want to give out the awards, then break again before top 10, or do you want to do
We can figure out how we feel then, but
just give out the awards?
my ass tells me that I need to stand up.
Finally, my ass has decided to eat my hand. Where's that on the list? Where's Birdman?
That is Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Well, Birdman permanently occupies the number 1 slot.
You're fine.
List,
Agreed. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
When we do overtime, Toady overtime, Birdman at
Private
the top.
Birdman, Attorney
Strangely
Law.
enough, for movies as well, the movie Birdman also
Also a very good movie.
ranks at
That
number
movie
1.
rules.
It's a real good movie.
Smells like balls in here.
So good. All right, we'll be right back. Back. We are full of diet caffeine-free Pepsi, some cookies, and some... What do you got over there?
Here's Mountain Dew Zero Sugar.
There we go. All right. We are on what we're calling part 3 of this TV show. Yep, and here comes that Diet Coke or Diet Pepsi with caffeine-free. Yep, sponsored by.
Jesus, look, just had a stroke.
We are all over the place.
Good God.
And I'm Caleb. I'll be hosting from now on because
Yeah.
Logan has passed away.
You know, just take it on. You know what? Go ahead.
Why is that corpse talking to you,
This is-
Caleb?
So this is actually the part of the show that matters, because we're going to start talking about the stuff that we really, really liked and will be considering for our top 10 shows of the year.
Do you guys have personal top 10s? I do not.
I do
didn't
not.
one.
I
All
mean,
right.
In my head, I probably have things that would make a top 10, but
In my head.
And the first one actually is
Logan's a
something
zombie. He stroked out. Sorry.
I didn't watch American Dad this season, so take it away. Bake it away, toys.
all right, now we're all having strokes. It's great. Sorry to any of you stroke survivors out there if this is offensive.
That was just a Chief Wiggum.
Okay, I know. Okay, so American Dad did an episode this year where
the award is.
oh yeah, this is best concept episode.
Goes to...
I guess we should do it that way, shouldn't we?
American Dad.
Yep. Okay,
and that episode, they shoot it all. Well, no, Stan gets trapped in an old TV that only caught like weird antenna stuff.
I watched this on my birthday with a large Rosati's pizza.
I know.
And you're like, you've got to watch American Dad.
I was like, this episode was so
No.
good. He likes the cracker
I like the
crust.
thin because I can eat the whole thing.
Oh, fair enough. That's fair.
Okay. So it's like an old like 1940s or 50s like
It's a spoof on the
Of, like,
old Playboy
Boy
show.
show,
So
yeah.
there was a Playboy show where Hugh Hefner the elevator would open up and Hugh Hefner would greet the television, the camera. And he'd be like, come in. And then he would have musicians,
like light jazz playing, and like he'd have some guests on, but it was all like
comedians. It was kind of like, it was like a late night show, but with a different format.
tone, because like there'd always be people like it was like at a house party in the background, like people would be all dressed up, but they would be sipping on martinis and
Did they kind of do the same thing on Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Was it kind of like that? Do you
okay,
remember?
so that episode,
Yeah.
so imagine that, but it being shot in black and white, but Stan is trapped in there.
Okay. All
And
right.
like, and
He gets a TV. Doesn't he find a TV on the side of the road?
yeah, he finds an old TV on the side of the road and he takes it in the basement, and then he somehow gets sucked into there with
The only thing on this TV is this show, and it's not Hefner. It's like a Hefner light.
it's a fake thing,
Yeah.
but his neighbor is also trapped in there, and they keep trying to find their way out.
Tuttle.
Tuttle.
Do you know Tuttle?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's just one of those, but like the whole time they keep like the show keeps rebooting over and over again, and they're trapped inside of it, and like they just can't get out. So it's
And Stan starts asking questions, and that's where it gets like dark.
yeah.
Like he can't get out, and
But like they also like somehow become like engulfed in the world where they like think that they're actually there, and then they like start finally like realizing like, and the longer they're there, the more they get like stuck in the normal traditions of like, hey, we're chatting at this party, like
it's like an episode of the Twilight Zone, but it's American Dad. So it's funny, but also like I was seriously like, what is going on?
But there's a
Like,
B plot in this episode, because every good show like this has a B plot, where for whatever reason Roger the alien becomes a baby. And
Okay. Yep. This sounds like American Dad.
and
Yep.
so
Also, there should be an exclamation point on this, and there's not.
there should be.
I'll
and
fix that.
so the rest of the family, like they just keep treating him like a baby, and like they're like going off about like different things about sleep training him, and like it's hilarious, like because they just they're not treating him like he's Roger, they're treating him like he's a baby, and it's just ridiculous.
So, do you guys want to move this to part 4?
I love American Dad. This season was really good.
Is this a serious contender?
sure for now.
For now, yeah. Okay. Sorry. So next on the next award goes to most grueling decision goes to.
Attack on Titan.
All right.
So I actually watched all of Attack on Titan this year. It's only like 60 some episodes, but
Only 60 episodes.
it's
Oh my-
I'm also watching One Piece.
Good
I am
God.
I just crossed episode 400 and
Okay.
I'm not even halfway into it yet.
All right.
Anyway,
Anime.
Attack on Titan. There's a 3-episode stretch of Attack on Titan from 2019 that is maybe the best 3-episode stretch of not just anime, but like TV.
Yeah.
There's the grueling decision part. I I'm not sure if I should spoil this or not because I'm not sure if you guys will.
I will never watch Attack on Titan.
I know you had some interest though, Jason.
I want to, but you can spoil it.
Okay. So there's a decision. There's an attack on this town.
Titan?
It's it's going to be hard to explain without like knowing the whole backstory. But essentially, what happens is there's an abandoned town. The good guys, quote unquote, go to the town because they need to get into one of the buildings that's there. And while they're there, they get ambushed by the Titans. And the leader of the Titans at this point is like, it's just an insanely good character. And he, like every maneuver that they have, he counters with something. And it's like, things are not going well. So really, it boils down to there's two guys that get like heavily wounded. There's three or four people that are okay, and everybody else dies. So there's only these people left, and including a lot of characters that like you knew throughout the entire series. Like they killed off a lot of people in these episodes.
Okay. Real stakes then for the characters.
Exactly. So these two that are like drastically injured, they can, for reasons I won't get into, they can heal one or the other. But they can only do one. The one guy is Armin, who's like the brains of the operation. He saw the ambush coming and saved the few people that were left. He actually saved them. The whole time he's been figuring things out about the Titans that otherwise they would have no idea. And then the other guy is the captain of the whole regiment. So he's the guy that there's a really emotional scene where he has to get this entire like platoon of people. The only solution they have is to get on horses and ride straight at the Titans, knowing that they're all going to die. And he leads them into that. And it's like super emotional and super draining, but he's the leader that they need. And then there's the guy that they would be nowhere without. So they have to decide which one to save. And it's like, it's hard. It's hard to watch because you're like, I know one of these two is going to die, but they need both of them. And it's really, really engaging. I can't speak highly enough about Attack on Titan. It's really, really good.
Does it stay?
I think it stays.
Okay.
I'll leave you in charge of moving these to the final list.
Yeah, that's fine.
The award for Best Child Ninja goes to
Barry.
Barry.
Fucking love Barry.
I mean, this just gets moved to the list. I mean,
Yeah,
that's a great
yeah.
episode.
Yep.
I don't know if there's really anything else to say about how great that episode is, and just move it to the list.
Ronnie Lilly, right?
Ronnie Lilly, yep.
Come on, Ronnie. Don't be an asshole.
Oh, God. The best CBS procedural not on CBS goes to
Bosch on Amazon. It is the best old school detective show that I've seen in a long time.
who's the guy in that?
It's Titus Welliver is his name.
Okay.
Bosch.
He's
Right, but I was trying to figure out the actor. I don't know why there's
you may recognize him. He was in Lost, Caleb, if you remember Lost. He's the
character?
man. He's the, what do they call it? It's Jacob, and he's Jacob's brother. Dark. He's Dark. The two brothers from the island.
I don't remember.
Good and evil. He's evil. He was also in Sons of Anarchy. Anyway, he's a good actor. That show I really enjoy. It's based on a book about a detective in Los Angeles. It's not going to be on the list. It doesn't need to be on the list, but it's my favorite, like, old school, like, detective show. Somebody does something bad, murder, homicide, like, he goes and investigates, but the overarching story is really interesting. It's good. It's really good, but I mean, it's not, there's too many other good shows on here.
All right. Okay. The best use of novelty t-shirts goes to, if I'm leaving this up in the air as to whoever put this on the list, so I'm assuming that is...
It's Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
All right.
So in the very first episode of the season that aired last year, Andre Braugher is the captain. He's super serious guy. I know you guys don't really watch this show.
No.
Super serious all the time. He's like he has no sense of humor at all.
Right. Yeah.
They have to fly somewhere. It's like, I don't remember where it is, Hawaii or something. And his luggage gets lost. So the only thing he has to wear is the stuff from the hotel gift shop. So he shows up just wearing like the best t-shirts of all time. There's one that's it's a pineapple with a bikini, like a thong on it. I'm trying to remember what all there's, and it says slut on it too.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that has to. Yeah.
There's one. I'm trying to find them all because they're all really, really fun. And every scene he shows up wearing a new one. And he's just like this dry character. It's really good. I like this show a lot. I don't think it's going to be on our list, but
probably not. But sure.
He one of the shirts he wears is 1 tequila, 2 tequila, 3 tequila floor.
Yeah,
like that kind
they're
of
just
stuff.
they're cheesy. They're yeah. All right. Best use of a nuclear meltdown without zombies goes to Chernobyl. I think that gets moved. Probably.
Yeah, that gets moved.
Yeah, I figured between all of us that seemed like that was one that we all liked.
There was only one stretch in that show that I wasn't like glued to the TV. It's just the part with the dogs. I didn't really like what it was fine, but it didn't catch me. But the rest of that show, I was literally like, what is gonna, like, I know what's gonna happen because you know it's a real thing.
You know the ending,
but
man, like, yeah.
But they managed to make it like really entertaining. You learn from it.
You wonder how much of it's true. Like,
yeah, well,
like,
they might have taken some
I'm
liberties.
sure they took some liberties with it to make it a little more dramatic and everything else. But it's like, yeah, you really wonder. Like, I mean, all the names and stuff of the people are all legitimate names, like historically. So, anyway, the best true crime documentary since the last great true crime documentary goes to
Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes. I gave it this award not to slight it. This is not like me being...
It's just there's a lot of them.
I'm just saying, like, we are in a golden age of true crime documentaries right now. Yep. And this is
true crime
no
podcasts.
exception.
It's good, right?
It's really good.
Yeah, I'm glad you watched it.
I think my wife's watching this right now.
It's kind of... It's also kind of like... It's a little off-putting how many people were like... As a reaction to this show, wow, he was a really good-looking guy.
Sexy,
like,
sexy
man,
Ted,
no,
right? Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, isn't High School Musical kid? Isn't he playing that?
So there's two. Yeah. This is the documentary,
and there's a movie,
and then Zac Efron is like, man.
I think it's a movie. I don't think it's.
It's
a
on
show.
Netflix.
Yeah, it is on Netflix.
Yeah, I watched it.
I don't remember what it's called.
I can't remember. Something like Cruel, something or unimaginably cruel, or like it's it's a long title.
Yeah. Unthinkably cruel and exceptionally evil.
Yeah,
is that
right?
right?
Sounds
Something
right.
like that.
Yeah,
sounds complex.
It's whatever the judge called him at the end.
Oh, is that what it is? Yeah. That dude, I'm haunted by that documentary a little bit. Like how close they were to catching him and how he fucking escaped. Like I had no idea. Yes, he escaped custody, dude. They had him twice. It's amazing. He's
one time he jumped out of a second-story window and just ran into the mountains.
Yeah. Into the mountains that couldn't find him. Yeah. Survived, then wound up in Florida.
And then there was another, and then he escaped out of a cell as well.
Yes.
There was like he got out of a.
I'm not even mad. I'm impressed.
Yeah. And then he just went out, and then the worst part about it is when it'd be different if like he gets out and it's the incompetence of the authorities that lets him out, right? And then he immediately goes and kills people. Like he did, like
he just can't help himself.
Yeah, he gets out of the second situation and the murders where that he's ultimately given the death sentence for. Like it's like what 48 hours before he's in that sorority house.
Yeah,
like and he cried like a baby and begged for his life and tried to cut a deal. And at the end, he's talking about where he buried people, and they still haven't recovered everyone. They know the body count, but they still don't know where people are. And he's talking about where he wants his ashes scattered because it's some of the best times of his life in that mountain.
Yep.
Dude, it's fucked. It's awful.
It's creepy.
Yeah, it's very good. I'm still like, these people walk among us, and it's fucking terrifying.
Do you want to move this, Jason? I think you're stronger on this than I am. I
think
enjoyed
for
it.
now.
You want okay?
For now, I'm not going to be unreasonable about it. If I still have no idea what this list is going to look like.
I don't think any of us really.
That's kind of the exciting part. Is
best accents goes to
Dairy Girls.
I don't know what that is.
Dairy Girls is I don't even know what network it's on, to be honest. Oh, it's on Netflix. It's a show about four girls in Northern Ireland in the 1990s. They all have incredible accents. It's so
they're
good.
in Ireland. Yeah, they should have.
And this is kind of in the time where there was a lot of like military stuff going on, the separation of Northern Ireland and all that stuff. And so it's these girls that are trying to deal with all of that and go to Catholic school. It's hilarious, and
so it's meant to be a comedy.
It's definitely a comedy, yeah. But they weave in parts about like 1990s Northern Ireland in there too.
Got it.
It's really, really well done. I would highly recommend it, if nothing else, just to hear their amazing accents.
Okay. I'm gonna give a fair warning on the end of this. Jason is watching this and is almost finished, so don't say it. The best documentary with a terrible final line.
Oh, you are watching this?
I'm on episode 2.
Okay.
I didn't get it wrapped
And
up.
I'm interested in watching this either, so please do not provide the final line.
Oh, it's not like a spoiler or
Okay.
anything.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
good.
so this is Don't Fuck with Cats, Hunting an Internet Killer. I don't know if you said it or
Oh,
not.
I guess we did not know.
And it's another like true crime documentary that's really good. I think it's really compelling.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's as like well produced as
I think that's
like
fair.
Conversations of a Killer, but
Mhm.
but I think it's well done just the same. The final line is just it's the woman that is the main person they're interviewing just looks straight at the camera, and she basically is like, well, but what if this guy was doing all this stuff just because he thought that there would eventually be a documentary about it, and people like you are watching this right now, and you're the reason that he did this. And I'm like, oh, fuck off.
Ew.
Yep. I really liked that show up until that moment, and that's like literally the last part of it.
Oh god. And it sounds like really that show or that never
It goes
mind.
places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know what I was getting
I
into.
didn't either. Like everybody kind of knows a little bit about Ted Bundy, but I didn't know anything about this at all.
I didn't either.
So-
There's the cliffhanger from the first episode. Logan already knows, like, they're searching for this person that does this, and then they're like, yeah, he did what we said he was going to do. He killed somebody. And I'm like, fucking what?
Yeah.
What?
And basically the Facebook group caused us all.
There's
I think
all
that's the
sorts
point
of,
she was trying to make, but at the same time, it's like,
Don't put
it's
it on
also
the viewer
like,
either. Put it on that.
No, and not even on the Facebook group, because like psychopathic people are psychopathic.
Right,
Like
that's true.
It's not like, sure, maybe something pushed them over the edge, but it wasn't going to resolve itself by us not watching this Netflix documentary,
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Next award is the best kids show for adults, and I'm also giving it a second award for best cartoon reboot. That's going to go to DuckTales.
whoa.
There you go.
Why didn't I not expect that? This is the
I don't know.
easiest.
Nope. Sorry.
That show's real good.
It is good.
It's real good. You started watching it, right?
It's good.
Yeah.
I think I would leave the real part off of that.
It's good for what it is, like
Yeah,
for a kids
yeah.
show, and
I was disappointed with the lack of like they have some pretty interesting like plot points that I wish they would hit more, and instead there's like, nope, here's a 5-episode stretch where we're not going to talk about any of that.
that's true, but it's also a kids show.
Exactly.
So there's
So
that.
it's a scope thing for me. I think if the show was like, it could be something else that I personally would be more interested in,
Yeah.
but it's not that, because obviously it's not that.
If I didn't have kids, I don't know if I would be seeking this out,
Yeah.
but since I have kids and we watch it.
I watched probably like 15 of them or so, and I was like, you know what?
Have you finished the first season?
No, I didn't.
Try to finish the first season.
Second season, I think, is better than the first.
I just got like,
Because I think the end of the first season
there
would
were
be
more
like,
episodes where I'm like, was kind of boring.
I think the first season wanders a little bit, and
It
then
does.
the second season is about the main point of the show.
Right. It keeps more of a through
Okay,
line
maybe I
Yeah.
would like that
Yeah.
better, but I don't know. It was just
because you're very close to finishing the first season at this point. If you
Yeah, and the
fin-
way they handled Darkwing Duck in the second season,
Oh, it's so good.
it's really good. Yeah, he's like, what's a good parallel to that? Like washed up actor. It's almost Birdman like in a way.
Yeah, it is. The
Yeah.
movie Birdman, yeah.
Because Darkwing Duck's washed up and he's being replaced by a younger, more good-looking version of himself, and then he actually becomes a real superhero in the process. It's really good. Like, it's surprisingly touching, and Launchpad's obsessed with him.
Yeah, Launchpad's like his biggest fan. And anything with
And he
Launchpad's
keeps going to
great.
these signings, and he's
the only
he
one.
goes to meet him every time, and every time he goes to meet him, he passes out.
Launchpad is one of the better characters on that show.
He
Launchpad's
gets
real
up,
good.
he goes to another convention, and he gets up there, and he passes out.
every time.
Are we moving that, keeping it there?
no,
I
don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna make it. No, it's not a final.
Logan
cut.
and I both like that.
We
but
enjoy
it
that
should-
show, but
it
it's
should
not a
go on our list.
no. That show's still okay award goes to Family Guy because
I haven't watched that show in like 5
when
years.
someone says,
so-
"Hey, you ever still watch Family Guy?" Yeah, that show's still okay. That's my response.
okay,
Like it's not must see TV anymore, but it show's still okay. Best elevator fart.
Goes to Fleabag.
Yeah.
we got a
A
clip
reminder.
here.
You missed the button there.
Fuck's sake.
Yep.
I know people in this building.
This is not getting picked up on mic, but it's fine.
Claire. Hello, Leslie.
And she farts in an elevator. Someone else gets on the elevator. It's completely awkward. And it smells. What is? And she says it's a lovely smell. I think we just move Fleabag to the next
we'll
group,
keep
and we'll
doing
talk
that.
about it later.
Definitely too.
Fleabag
Best,
might be one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. God, it's funny.
best breathalyzer
Yeah, Florida Girls.
goes to Florida Girls. Yeah, I don't know anything about that show.
Florida Girls is a show on Pop TV, which I don't even.
Okay,
It's whatever. It's the same show that Schitt's Creek, the same network that Schitt's Creek is on. But anyway,
I thought Schitt's Creek was on Netflix.
it is now, but it
Was on Pop TV.
Yeah. So Florida Girls is about like 4 super poor girls in Florida, and just kind of their adventures. It's surprisingly funny for how like low budget it is. And every time they go to get in the car, she has to blow into a breathalyzer to get it to start, which is hilarious because a lot of times she'll call a kid over and have the kid blow in the breathalyzer to get it to go. But it was the most surprising show for me because it came out of nowhere. I had no expectations and it was really, really funny.
All right, that sounds all right. The best perpetually expanding house.
It goes to Fuller House, where they find another attic in this house.
Which is, I mean, is it done as a joke or is
I don't
it just
know.
They really are like, oh, hey, we've got this second attic that,
Because they're like, oh, where is this thing? We need to find this thing from years ago. And somebody is like, oh, take a look in the attic. And the kids are like, oh, we have an attic? I didn't even know we had one. Like, well, wait, no, Jesse and Becky
and the twins lived up there.
they lived up there for years. And then in Fuller House, they go up and it's just this tiny little room that's got a bunch of the old like props and stuff in it.
What?
And
So it's not the same room?
so it's not the same room.
But they don't acknowledge that
is
there's
this-
another room?
So I think this might be a second attic in this house.
I didn't expect to talk about this. Now I'm really concerned.
The show's not very good.
Okay,
but
all right.
I just
Maybe we'll
I
just
love,
okay.
love
I was
that.
really hoping it would be something else. The most awkward ending to a threesome goes to Glow, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. Did you guys all watch Glow this year?
I didn't finish this season. No,
I love Glow.
I think Glow's great.
it's
I think Glow's
incredible.
really good.
I like it too. Aaron and I are watching it. That's why we didn't. That's why I didn't finish it.
So I won't tell you about the awkward ending of the threesome then because that's a big story plot.
I moved it over to the list. Though.
Okay, yeah, they're good. Best fight choreography goes to Into the Badlands.
This show is mediocre, but the fighting is still like
I watched the first season and I totally agree with that.
it's still that high level of fight choreography. The story is very messy now and hard to follow, where in the first season it was like, okay, you've got barons, you've got their clippers, they're their assassins, and everyone's fighting for territory. It's gotten way beyond now. It's got like this supernatural thing, like to the nth degree. So I'm not really enjoying the show as much, but then like they have the weekly fight and it's like, fucking hey man, this is some really good stuff. But
It's like the opposite of wrestling. When they start fighting and you're like, bleh.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. Yes. It's. I'm glad it exists. It's a show kind of for me, but I wouldn't dare try to put it on our list.
Okay. All right. Best deep cut play reference.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia did an entire episode that's based on the play Waiting for Godot.
Sure. Why not?
This show, like
They go places with the show.
I hope the
right?
show is on forever because they just every season is just it's not better than the last, but like every season is very high quality.
It's not losing its thunder.
They're playing. They're in a laser tag arena and they camp out at like one of the checkpoints and it parallels Waiting for Godot like perfectly, and it's still hilarious. There's a lot of really good episodes this season. It's a great show, but I know you guys don't really watch it.
I've never got into it, yeah. Best bean-themed episode.
So I talked about this last year, Joe Pera Talks With You, and I really want you guys to watch at least a few episodes of this.
Every commercial I've seen makes me want to go, nope. Like, it just seems like an
episodes
awkward...
are only 12 minutes long.
I know, it just seems
That's
like one of those awkward Adult Swim things that I'm just not going to get into.
It's not... It's a little bit awkward, but it's not like anything else on Adult Swim because it's genuine. It's not like mean-spirited. It's
That's not why I come to Adult Swim, but what I'm saying is like I would be very surprised by that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why it works so well for me is because it contrasts so hard against those other shows.
Okay.
Like you keep expecting something to turn and like there to be a punchline and there's not a punchline. Like there's the first episode of the season is literally him just growing beans for an entire episode and talking about beans and bean facts.
Okay, then.
All right, well.
And
so this is not like the Broats thing that Dr. Steve Brule did.
No.
It's like genuine.
It's genuine.
It's kind of like the reverse of that. It's
right.
weird.
And everybody on the show, like the whole everybody in the supporting cast is very sincere and
man.
like they're very supportive and they want to help Joe and like there's like not really any conflict on it usually. It's just very like warm and genuine. It's so strange that it's on Adult Swim.
Okay. All right.
I'm color me curious.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Best fake catchphrase.
Oh, I need to look this up just to make sure I get this right.
Because you got it wrong in a trivia thing one day, didn't you?
This
was
is a different thing.
Do I need to move past
Yeah,
this,
let's come back to this
all
while I search.
Best job goes to Los Spookies. I don't know what that is.
Oh, man. They're all me, aren't they?
Yeah, these are all you, like, all in a row. Here.
Talk about Mr. Robot for a minute.
Okay, best twist goes to Mr. Robot. Jason, you got anything on this?
Logan, do you...
It's too long of a series and not enough acclaim. I will go back and I will try to watch Breaking Bad at some point. I will not try and go back and watch Mr. Robot. Your head is in the microphone.
I'm just trying to process that because I think like Breaking Bad is now of its time. And so all the nice things we have now is because of Breaking Bad.
Right.
And so just as long as you have your expectations set, that show is, I think, in my opinion, the best show ever. But
I feel like it's
going, well, now you've seen these things in other shows. So you will recognize like, oh, this show did this show did that, and it's because Breaking Bad did it first.
Right.
And so I think that's why at the time it was so well revered. And I think Mr. Robot is more unique than Breaking Bad now, and tackles different issues than Breaking Bad. So it's a weird comparison, but I guess if you really feel like you won't watch it, like I'm not going to
probably
fucking
going to watch it. Yeah,
if it's not something you're interested in. How do I explain this? Like, you're watching Rami Malek's character, and he's the main character of the show until he isn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
a good way to put it.
He is the central focus of the show, and it turns out he is a schizophrenic personality of the main character. He's been protecting.
They Fight Clubbed it.
No.
Not that simple.
Yes, but also like 6 more layers.
Okay.
The whole time you're watching the show, you don't realize until the very, very, very end that you've actually never met the main character. You've been watching a different character this entire time.
We're watching a personality of the main character.
Yeah. Well, yes and no. Not. It's literally a character that you haven't seen this entire episode, and Rami Malek is playing. He's playing a character.
The entire series.
Yeah, sorry, in the entire series.
Mm.
He's playing a character that's playing a character, essentially.
What it is this disassociative personality of his main character feels like that Elliot Alderson. He feels like Elliot is not strong enough to handle the horrors of the world. Not the horse, the horrors of the world. And so he is created to protect Elliot. And so the whole show, you see the seedy underbelly and Elliot interacting, and you think it's actually real Elliot. It's not. It's his other personality insulating him from the real
like
horrors of the world. Yes, it's him. It is him. It is him. He's the same character.
So it's not like this is a.
It also kind of frames the way that he interacts with everybody else on the show.
Okay.
Especially his sister, because she.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, she at times thinks that it's him, and at times thinks it's a personality, and she can't really ever determine who she's actually talking to at any given time.
The very end of the series, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all there, and it was the plan the whole time, and it is unbelievable.
Right.
Like it was very clearly the plan, and none of us knew it.
But there's also more personalities than just those two as well.
Than just
so it gets complicated, but at the same time, it's approachable. Like I never felt confused by anything.
No, it's very plainly explained.
Everything is very complicated.
So it wasn't a cop out or anything else.
In fact, it's like
oh shit, this all makes sense.
It's revelatory.
Yeah,
because it was 5 seasons.
4,
right?
4. Yeah. It's really, that's why I'm like, if someone said that it's not the craziest undertaking to watch all of Mr. Robot, because there just isn't a lot of it compared to.
It's still, I mean, if you add it up, it's probably 30 some hours, probably.
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, yeah maybe. The first season's short. So I did not see that coming, and it genuinely in like twists that are used over and over and over. I did not see it coming. It was really affected by it. I genuinely was like rocked. Like this isn't
like that fucked with your head in a way.
I was like, whoa, I need a second here.
I'm just curious, how early on into that last episode did you find this out?
Literally the last thing.
So it was like the last thing, and they just kind of mind fucked you and walked out.
Yep.
But in a really like impactful way.
It closes with him in a hospital, and you kind of see inside his brain as all this stuff gets revealed, and it ends with his eyes opening, and you see his sister, and she says, "Hello, Elliot," because she knows that it's him now. So the first time that she's seeing him as himself since before the show started.
And how long of a time was this supposed to be? Like the overall
years, because they were estranged for a long time too.
Yeah, so it's probably like realistically like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
2.5, 3. We can talk about it more when we're more ratcheting up the list. But
it may be the best ending to a TV show ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. It's very tall timber the way it wrapped up. It's elegant. It really is. It's something else.
Interesting.
Yeah. So move it, and we'll figure out where it lands.
Yep, it is firmly been moved.
Moving over. Okay.
Going back to Letterkenny, because this one will be quick.
Sorry, yes. Best fake catchphrase.
So the main character on Letterkenny breaks up with his girlfriend, and apparently whenever he gets into a bad mood, he watches this fake TV show called Misfire, and it's like MASH. But like if MASH was a really terrible and also racist and homophobic comedy. And Misfire plays Misfire is the secretary of this like war general, and his squad is all gay, and they make jokes about, and he can't ever tell that they're gay, but they make jokes all the time about it. And every time they make a bad joke, Misfire says, "Excuse me, seriously, please, and thank you." And I just crack up every time I hear that. It's a good show.
It's no things are getting too spicy for the pepper, but you know,
true. That is
nothing
true.
is, yeah.
Los Spookies is the other one that we kind of skipped over for best job. Did either of you guys see even what this is?
No
idea what this is.
So this is
I do know what it is. Sorry if that's what you're asking. But.
It's on HBO, and it is almost completely in Spanish. The only character that speaks English in the show is Fred Armisen for some reason. But
that guy does what he wants.
I know, right? But it's about this group of friends that bond over like bad, like cheesy horror movies. So they decide to like create this agency to like produce fake horror stuff. And it's really like, it's another one uplifting and like heartwarming show. And one of the best characters on it keeps just taking these random jobs. Like she'll walk dogs, like, but it'll be like 25 dogs or something like that. And one of the jobs that she takes is there's a giant like clock, like Big Ben kind of thing, and she takes the job of moving the second hand on the clock. So she's literally in the clock tower and like moving this thing 1 second at a time, but she's also really bad at it and like tries to hold conversations while she's doing it.
Yeah, doesn't seem like a good idea.
It's really funny.
Okay. On Becoming a God in Central Florida. Oh, sorry, I'm reading this backwards. Best pyramid scheme goes to On Becoming a God in Central Florida.
This is it Kirsten or Kristen? Kirsten Dunst. And this is is this on Showtime? Yeah. Did you see anything about this?
I know of the show existence and that she is in it. That's all.
So it's basically about a pyramid scheme. There's kind of two rival companies each doing like separate pyramid schemes, and she gets kind of caught when her husband signs up for it. So she gets kind of caught in the middle of things, and It's really well done. I don't think it completely sticks the landing at the end. I think it kind of tapers off, but those first few episodes are really good, and I would recommend giving this at least a shot.
Okay. On Cinema.
God, these are just all.
Sorry, I keep doing this the wrong way. Best loan website goes to On Cinema.
So I've talked about On Cinema before. I don't know if you guys remember or not.
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes of it.
Okay.
I've watched a few since.
It's just a fake podcast where they review movies, but they actually don't ever actually review the movies.
And their review methodologies makes no sense.
And I finally caught up to it this year. And this year, the main hook of it was that in order to finance the show, he kept taking out loans from this website, thinking that they were interest free, and it turned out to be like it was like 200% or something like that. Of course. And yeah, it's ridiculous, but I really like On Cinema.
Okay. Best AIM screen name goes to Pen 15.
Did you? I saw that you stopped watching this.
I watched the first 2 episodes and I just didn't think it was funny.
Really?
I did the same thing with Letterkenny, and everything people tell me about Letterkenny is like, yeah, this is really funny, and they'll tell me a joke from it. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. I don't know where it is because I keep trying to watch it and nothing is ever funny. I feel like I'm watching a different show.
Interesting. Well, Pen 15, Jason, you know about Pen 15?
No, educate me.
This is a show on Hulu. It's I don't remember their the actresses' names, but it's two of the producers from Lonely Island, right?
Yeah.
And they play, I think they're supposed to be fifth graders. But all the other fifth graders on the show are actual fifth graders, and they're adults playing fifth graders.
Yeah, it's really awkward.
It's super awkward.
Well, because it's almost like it's like the content that they do. They were like, yeah, we can't have kids do this. Like,
But there's one episode in particular that I really identified with when they decide to sign up for AIM for the first time, because it takes place in the 90s. I guess I should have clarified.
Oh,
that,
okay.
too.
Okay. I was wondering how AIM went into
right,
this.
That's why
It takes place when they were fifth graders.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're setting up their screen names. I had to pull it up. So Maya wants to take the name Viper 911, but it's already taken. So she decides to just replace the V with a D. So it's Diaper 911. And Anna, after she signs up, the other girl is like, but that just sounds like you're having a diaper emergency.
Yeah.
In that episode, like everything from like signing up for AIM, it has all the sound effects for AIM.
Wow.
People logging on and setting up away messages and giving you the hey, and then that was the whole end of the conversation. Like everything about that just hit the nostalgia really hard for me. I like that show a lot.
Best gay Hitler goes to the only person who watched the show.
Preacher's fine. Hitler's funny. Hitler takes over in hell at the end of Preacher.
He
fires the devil and he takes over in hell. And they finally find God, and he's just the most despicable piece of shit ever. It's Preacher's really funny, but also like went downhill. There's like, what do they call them? There's crusaders like that are trying to keep the presence of God around, and ever since their leader, Hua, please order me a rape. And then he sees him later on after this guy attacks him. Hua, I am not a homosexual. So he wanted to request to rape someone. Instead, he gets bent over and just pulverized. It's the best. But it's kind of gone downhill.
This show, the first season ended so perfectly. They really should have just ended it.
Yeah. It's I will say, since we're talking about it,
comic,
it does
right?
have it's based on a graphic novel. It does have a really nice ending where it's about this love triangle between Jesse Custer, Preacher, his girlfriend Tulip, and Cassidy the vampire. And it's just like, this band of like misfit like world savers, and at the end Cassidy, who is immortal because he's a vampire, goes and meets their daughter at the gravestone of Jesse and Tulip, the two other main characters, and they're sharing like a touching moment talking about like how much he loved their parents. And it's like weird because he loved Tulip, Cassidy did, they had a thing, but also Jesse loved Tulip, and Cassidy and Jesse loved each other too. Like they were best friends. And so they're talking about fond memories, and their daughter asks him, well, what do you think they're doing in the afterlife? Because the show, people are going to hell and back and heaven and back all the time. So like the afterlife is like a very like concrete thing in Preacher's universe. And he said, I don't know, but I think I'll go find out. And he walks out into the sunlight and burns himself just so he can follow Tulip and Jesse into the afterlife, because no matter how much they fought and disagreed in life, he can't bear to be without them. So he goes into the afterlife to chase them. And it's kind of like I did not expect to have a touching moment from this show.
and then with like two middle fingers in the air or something.
Yeah, like people being split in half and like gross blood porn. And no, it's like he takes his umbrella, he throws it away, and he just walks off and burns and falls over. Yep. Yeah, it's really touching. Take that show off of the permanent list.
Okay.
Please.
All right. I'm very confused at this. Best use of dialogue
goes to Primal.
Isn't that just best writing? I'm very confused.
There's no dialogue.
Oh, there's no dialogue. Okay. Right. All right. I'm like, I don't know what the show is. I don't know.
This is another Adult Swim show. It's Jendi Tarkovsky. I think
I'm
that might be
shaking my
right.
head.
This is the guy that did Samurai Jack.
Okay.
So he made a show. This is a caveman and his dinosaur pal, and they have to survive against like other dinosaurs and stuff.
All right, Fred Flintstone and Dino.
But
Got
it's the action's really good, and they actually have a bunch of emotional scenes with the two of them, and they never say a word of dialogue the entire series. So it's really cool. It's not going to be on their list, but I wanted to mention it.
I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know much about Adult Swim anymore. I don't know why. Anyhow, best Groundhog Day that isn't Groundhog Day. That goes to
Go ahead.
Russian Doll.
I only know Natasha Lyonne is in that, and I know nothing else of it.
I think you liked it a lot more than me, based on the fact that it's on this list.
Yeah, it grew on me quite a bit. I don't. The reason why is because I don't think I've seen anything quite like it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that helps things for me. You guys know me. I enjoy things that are good and different. And so it gets a little more favorable review from me because I have not seen anything like it. The premise is she dies over and over and over. So it's Groundhog Day, except death.
Oh, got it.
And so then she's trying to figure out what's going on, and then she's introduced to another character that is going through the same thing. And that's when the show that's really when it grew on me. There's another person doing the same thing. And so they're trying to break this cycle. And I don't know, like the absurd way that they die. It's a nice comic relief because they're like very distressed, and then like
the staircase that she keeps falling down over and over.
That's great,
again.
man. That's really funny. So by the time like she's got to take different, like it's like what's a choose your own adventure.
What was that movie? Wasn't there a movie where he had to like practice the perfect scenario to get through, and it kept looping time? You know what I'm talking about?
The Day After Tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Or was it was it Edge of Tomorrow? Edge of Tomorrow.
Yes, it's a lot. It's a lot like that. And so she realizes she just can't go down the stairs. Like she finds.
So she like goes at the fire escape.
Every time, and becomes a little more like short with everyone she interacts. She's at her birthday party, so she runs out, and like the first time she's like, "What the hell?" And then by the 10th time she dies, she's like, "I gotta go bleep yourself." And like the people are like.
So it's like Groundhog Day meets Final Destination.
It kind of
thing.
yeah,
like
yeah.
You're gonna die.
They resurrect each time,
but you keep resurrecting.
But there's also kind of a sci-fi time element to it too, where they're trying to figure out what's going on, and they kind of explain that, but not really. I think that was where I kind of fell off of the show.
Sure, you're not going to get that out of it. It doesn't really care. Maybe season 2.
Yeah,
we'll give you some.
Which
of that.
I'm really confused what season 2 is going to be.
I don't know either, because it seems like they do a nice job of wrapping it up. It's only 8 episodes,
and be a new character. Is it like an anthology kind of thing?
Maybe I don't think so, but I don't know.
I think that this show's like it's also very funny. Like it's very quick.
It's very witty.
Yeah, quippy.
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to go on the list because there's so much good stuff, right? Yeah. But I like that show a lot.
Next award is best weekly guest appearance goes to Saturday Night Live because that's the entire concept of the show.
Oh yes, novel.
Best cereal aisle goes to Stranger Things.
Completely okay.
I loved that cereal aisle. It was when you were talking about the AIM screen name stuff. For me, it was all about the cereal of the time.
Just like if Pen 15 is my era of growing up, I think that Stranger Things is yours. I think there's just that little tiny
there's
gap.
Like that 3-year gap that somehow that was our difference between our age bracket.
You had already taken Stranger Things, but I was gonna say best video rental store. Yeah, and there's a freaking family video at the end of that, dude. Like that's so Midwest. Like, we live here.
I know.
We still have those.
Yeah, I know that.
I know.
I was there last week.
I just remember like
so thrilled.
I remember pausing it and rewinding it to look at the cereal boxes. That's how much I was like engrossed in that cereal box scene. I would like to see this still move to the last list.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I don't know about it. I know it wasn't the strongest season of this, but I still like it a lot.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Most uses of the phrase "fuck off."
I'll just go ahead and move this to the list.
Yeah, dude.
Logan Roy and Succession. Oh, fuck off! Fuck off! He's like, I love how he's turned it into one word. Fuck off! With that growl.
So have you heard on the radio he's now doing the voiceover for like McDonald's Quarter Pounders? It's
Brian Cox?
Brian Cox.
What?
And he's like, oh, come and have a delicious quarter pounder. Like, is he really killing me?
Pretty good imitation.
It's pretty
there.
good Logan, yeah. Logan, nice Logan.
Yeah, that's what I can do. But yeah, it's Succession. Yeah, move it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll get there. Second best usage of churches for the year.
I was gonna. This is Terrace House Tokyo, and I was going to put best usage of churches, but then I was like, but no, that goes to Death Stranding.
Yeah, Death Stranding wins best use of churches.
So I had to
for
put
the
a
year.
second in there. I really like Terrace House. It's nothing happens on that show. It's a reality show where nothing happens and they're all nice to each other.
Sure,
But it's
like Big
extremely
Brother,
watchable.
but
Churches does the theme song.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Best mommy complex goes to The Boys.
The Boys was surprisingly okay. I didn't think I was going to like it at all, but I ended up kind of enjoying it.
I like it a lot.
I think we're kind of all over the board here because I don't think you liked it very much.
Not very much.
Okay.
But that's okay.
We'll see.
Does that one move or does that one stay?
That's up to Logan. Does it need to go into the big
Let's
list?
throw it over there and see where it ends up. If it doesn't end up in a 10, it doesn't end up in a 10. Best show only Jason watched.
I
You're not going to get me to watch this show.
I can't.
why not?
It's too
It
boring.
looks really boring. Is it not boring?
But it's really not.
Okay.
Like that's like you can't that's like the ultimate example of not giving something a shot just because you think it is something. Like The Crown is excellent. It is excellent.
Everything of like it's like royalty stuff just sounds unbearable.
It is a really nice history lesson in the things that happened in Queen Elizabeth II's reign.
You know what my least favorite part of a history is? Royalty.
Okay, Logan,
I'm
you
just
don't have
saying-
to watch it. Like
Okay,
I'm
you don't have to be
recommending
a
it.
dick about it either.
Yeah, like it's fine. Like you don't have to. Like you don't have to qualify it. It's fine. Don't watch it. I'm not asking you to. But I do think it is the best show that you guys aren't watching. And I think it's excellent. I almost begged you guys to watch an episode of the season 3 because each individual episode is of a story of a time in the history of the United Kingdom. And so you don't need to watch really any of it to understand what's going on. It's very obvious. Oh, that's the Queen. Oh,
Is that how the
that's
whole show
Prince
is?
Philip. Yeah, they're individual stories. And there is a story, the 3rd episode of the 2nd season, I bawled through because it's about a tragedy involving an elementary school. And it's something that happened, and it is awful. It's awful. They're buried under a landslide, buried alive.
See, I was under the impression that this was a very character-driven show.
That's
but
what I'm
it's
saying.
not.
Is I don't think you guys know what the show is.
Is that's partly on us and also partly on the
That's the advertising too for that show.
a little bit.
I think that it's targeting someone that's not us.
Right.
It's-
So I would understand why.
The way it's advertised is, hey, this is Downton Abbey.
But it's man, it's not.
Okay, well,
It's not. It is a history lesson, a very well acted, well told history lesson about
the actors in that show are good actors.
the mom. What's the mom's name from Fleabag? That played
Olivia Colman.
Yeah, Olivia
Yeah.
Colman.
Mhm.
Did she win?
She has won like all
the
of
Golden
them.
Globes.
She won for The Favorite.
Oh,
she
she
won-
was in The Favorite
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, but she has basically been on a tear of winning stuff
Yeah.
since with The Crown, The Favorite. I don't think she's really missed a lot of stuff recently.
Which is weird because Claire Foy is like really good as young Queen
She's
Elizabeth.
also won a lot of stuff.
Has
Or
she?
she's been nominated at least for
I think
a lot of stuff. I think she might have
nominations.
won one thing. Maybe. I'm trying to remember. The name sounds very familiar.
So I don't think that we have to even put it on the list because it's silly to have a show that one of us watched to be argued for. But I will say that I think it's one of the best shows on right now.
I will give that episode a shot. Especially, I thought it was like, yeah, I mean,
if you're not impacted by this episode, I can't. It's like your heart isn't beating inside your chest. It's something that happened to small children, and they were buried alive, and it's all about the royal family's response to it. And she didn't go, and it's her single biggest regret as queen. She doesn't go while the rest of the family goes, and they're all like, it's horrible because these miners who work here in this blue collar town are like, they keep digging for their children's bodies, and there's only one kid that survives. It is like crushing.
Yeah, this show is not what I thought it was.
No, not at all.
It is about the history of the United Kingdom during her reign, and there's plenty of great content there because it's okay. This happened during this 5-year span, or this happened in this 10-day span, and they do a good job of aging the characters as it goes along. It is. It's great, but I understand because I had the same problem with Fleabag. Like, I didn't want to watch Fleabag. Yeah. I was like, why don't I want to watch this? And it just wasn't. I didn't understand what it was. And when I watched it, I was like, this is like the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
right. And I didn't even know it was a comedy. Like, I just knew based off of awards and your guys' recommendations to watch it.
When you see a commercial or whatever for The Crown, it's like they're all at a ball, and it's like, who's gonna dance with who, and like
it's all very stuffy,
yeah,
and like they
just
have not
boring
done a
old
good job of
royalty
advertising
stuff.
that.
So yeah, that's actually interesting to hear.
It's got to be, I think, out of all the Netflix shows on right now, I think it's probably the most expensive and of the highest quality. It's
Probably.
like a weird range to it's like an HBO show.
It's prestige. It's prestige TV for sure. And Netflix kind of, sometimes they veer into that, but most of the time they try to stay right on that border.
Yeah, I mean, they've got like 2 or 3 of those, and then it's like after that, and then it's like, oh, here we some filler stuff that we made along with us, financed about 20 true crime documentaries.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird because there's the few shows that stand, like Stranger Things, that stand out, and then there's the rest of it. And there's some of the rest of it on our list, but I think The Crown is above all that stuff. It feels like HBO to me. It feels like premium television, whereas
we can put it on there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've done that with games in the past where only one of us have played it, and we put it on our list.
We can put it on
and
there,
if you
but
feel
I won't.
strong enough that it's. I mean,
would it be on your personal top 10?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that episode I was talking about might be, for me, maybe like top 3 episodes of TV for me ever.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe it was around, maybe it's personal. Like, everything is personal. But Kobe died, my uncle passed away, and then I'm watching these kids get buried, and I'm like, oh my God. So maybe
just adding some stuff up.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, because that's why I was going to have you guys watch it. Like, check me on this. Is this really one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen, or is it just because
Was it of the time?
I'm like, maybe it's like,
and it's not even of the time, like of the time period. It was just, this is what was going on in my life.
this is when I saw this.
Now that makes me want to rank like the best TV episodes, but
And maybe we can, as long as we've all seen that episode.
Yeah. Oh boy. We're okay. Best visit to the doctor.
That's also The Deuce. So Caleb and I watched The Deuce. Uncle Bobby from The Deuce is the only like real comic relief, it seems like, in the 3rd season. The 3rd season is about the AIDS crisis.
Oh yeah, that's
so
real uplifting stuff.
Oh my God. I feel like it's been like, my list this year is just like, God, go see a therapist, Jason. Jesus.
this is my therapy.
That's what I pay you guys for. He goes to the doctor because he thinks he has AIDS, and so the doctor said, like, he steals the blood work from the doctor, and he starts flipping through it, and he doesn't know what he's looking at. So the doctor's like, okay, let me explain to you that we can't measure for the virus. Oh, I've got it. Just tell me, I've got it. And he's like, no, we can't test for the virus yet. Oh, Jesus, just tell me. Well, I'm going to explain to you white blood cell counts. We can tally those. Oh, fuck. I've got it. He just like keeps telling him, I've got it. No, your cell counts look great. There's no sign of the virus. Ah, gee. You know what? You want a tip? Lead with that next time. And he throws it in his face and he walks out the door.
It was great. That was a great scene.
It's back to the AIDS crisis. We got to put the Deuce on the list,
yeah, I
right?
agree.
And then
I thought the beginning of the season was kind of slow, but about halfway through, I think it really picked up, and I think it ended pretty well too.
All right. Best fat suit.
This is the loudest voice. Did you guys watch this at all?
I don't even know what the loudest voice is.
It's Russell Crowe plays Roger Ailes, the Fox News guy.
It was a series?
There were two things about him. There was a show, as these things all go. Yeah, Bombshell is the movie, and this was the TV show.
I think I had that confused with the Bale fat suit, the Christian Bale fat
Veep. No, it wasn't Veep.
Vice.
Vice.
Yes.
Right, sorry, wrong.
Sorry, I had that all in my head confused. Okay, sorry.
So many things.
It wasn't a fat suit. He actually gained the weight for that.
Did he really?
Yeah. Bill's a psycho.
Yeah,
He gained that weight?
he did.
Yeah.
That wasn't a fat suit?
No.
Wow.
Russell Crowe is definitely
No wonder he won an award for it. Okay.
It's a decent show. It's not worth talking too much about, especially since we're late as it is.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. We need to. Jesus. How late is it? Okay. Most stereotypes that goes to the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. That show's just full of Jewish stereotypes. All
Tony
over the
Shalhoub
place.
continues to be one of the best actors.
Yes, that show's real good. Still, best use of Martin Short. For me, I hate Martin Short as an actor. I've never found him funny, but my God, is he good in the morning show?
Yeah.
And he is in it for maybe about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
But he is real
that
good.
one
at
scene
what-
is
there's two
very powerful.
Yeah, I mean, like in the flashback scene where it's like he's actually was his friend at the time and stuff. Like, man, that's good. I like that show a lot. Can we move that to the?
Sure. Yeah. Actually, should we move Marvelous Mrs. Maisel too?
Yeah. I'm actually throwing together a personal top 10 in no ranked order just to see if how things fall.
Good for you.
What's next?
The other two, Best Fake Diarrhea and Best Snow Patrol callback.
So I added Best Snow Patrol callback. And
Okay.
do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay, so then you can tell your best fake diarrhea thing. Do you know what the other two is, Jason?
Mm-mm, I
Okay,
do not know
so
what
it is. So I asked Caleb about a month ago. I said, "What show should I watch? Like that's on your list that just like tell me to watch a show. I'll watch it." The other two is on Comedy Central. It's a sitcom about, and I shouldn't say it's not like a 3-camera shoot sitcom or anything like that. But it's a situation comedy. I mean, I can't think of anything else to call it. There's a younger brother who's essentially Justin Bieber. Like Justin Bieber when he was like 13 and like the biggest thing on the planet. And then the other two are his older brother and older sister, and they're in their like mid to late 20s.
Okay.
And their mom is Molly Shannon,
Molly Shannon is great in this
and
show.
she's
too.
barely in it, but she's great.
Yeah.
And like, there's one episode she's incredible in, and then but like the show mainly focuses on the brother and the sister.
This is Comedy Central?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one of the best sitcoms I've seen in like
Really?
comedy shows
yeah.
like this of a half hour scripted comedy. This is the best one I've seen in years.
It goes back and forth between being extremely funny, and then at the end, like you feel for all of the characters as well.
Yeah, because like they have like serious issues. Like
Yeah.
the sister is like all kinds of messed up. The brother is, my brother's gay.
yeah, he literally makes a song
makes
called
a
"My
song
Brother
called
is
My
Gay,"
Brother's Gay.
and makes millions of dollars off of it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And so like his brother has to like go through and like try to. There's a whole episode about the moment that show comes out, or that he releases that music video, and like his brother's walking around the streets of New York, and all of a sudden people start recognizing him. He's like, "What the hell? Why are people talking about me?" And he finds out that this video got released,
Yeah.
and so anyway, in that episode, because they're just walking around the streets of New York, the sister is wearing a Snow Patrol t-shirt. Like, and she was just in like a Snow Patrol t-shirt and like and Halloween shorts because that was her, like they were just going around like she was just getting stuff from the store. That was like the third episode of that season. Well,
Okay.
randomly in about the 7th or 8th episode of that season, she says something about how she lost her virginity to the drummer from Snow Patrol.
It's pretty good. I like that.
That is good.
And it was like, wait a minute. Like, and so I went back because I was like, oh, why the fuck? Like, why are, because I watched these all like in a row,
Yeah.
like real fast. And yeah, it's a real good show.
The fake diarrhea. They launch one of Chase is the
Chase
younger
Dreams is his name,
Chase
by
Dreams.
the way.
They
Chase
release
Dreams. Wow.
they release one of his songs on an airplane. Their whole publicity stunt is to get a bunch of young girls in an airplane and then show them the premiere of this video. And so the family is in the middle of like this big existential crisis, and they keep wanting to go like somewhere private to talk, but the only place they can go to on the airplane is the bathroom. So what's the agent's name? I can't
forget
remember
what his name is.
But they like the agent is like the dumbest. He's like a box of rocks, and they keep just being like, I have diarrhea. I have to go to the bathroom. And like and he's just like, what is with this family and all the diarrhea?
I think I might watch that.
It's
really
really good. Like
How many
I
episodes?
It's like
8?
10.
I think it's like 8.
Oh,
8
awesome.
half-hour episodes.
I can
And
get through that.
It's
Obviously.
I watched it in 2 days.
Okay.
It was really good. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Best sitcom with the most seasons.
Not best.
Oh, sorry. Just sitcom with the most seasons.
Not best.
Sorry. Sitcom with the most seasons goes to The Simpsons.
And best mustache
Yes.
goes to
The Spy. Have you guys seen Sacha Baron Cohen's mustache from The Spy?
I did. I watched 2 episodes of The Spy.
Oh, did you really?
After you said you watched The Spy, I tried 2 episodes of it. It was so slow. I just couldn't do it.
I respect that. That's fine.
I tried. I really did. I thought after the first episode, I was like, okay, this is finally starting to get somewhere. And then I was just like, I was real, because the guy from The Americans is in it. Like, he's the handler guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, this is going to be good. It's going to be good. And I even tried to watch the 3rd episode, and I just kept falling asleep.
Well, I could see how that would happen.
And even I was just like, oh God, like I want to try to give the show a shot, but I just couldn't. I could never stay awake.
Yeah, I like that show, but it's I think it falls in line. Like every year I watch a show like this, it seems like. Last year it was the Alexander Skarsgård show. Michael Shannon, Alexander Skarsgård, Little Drummer Girl
Okay.
on AMZ, and then the year before that it was the Loki. What's his name?
Tom Hiddleston.
Hiddleston was in The Night Manager with Hugh Laurie.
Oh yeah, which that got a lot of awards.
It's-
I think.
yeah, it's really
Hugh Laurie
good.
won some awards for that. Yeah.
So this was my show that was 6 episodes, just like all those others that are about espionage. I just slotted right in for
is
this
this a
year.
miniseries or are they gonna do-
Miniseries.
Okay.
Yep,
Yeah,
6
so just 6
episodes.
yeah.
The reason why I bring up the mustache is because that's totally his Freddie Mercury look
Oh yeah.
from the movie that didn't happen.
Right.
The version of
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody that he wanted to tell. That's
Mhm.
definitely
Oh yeah.
that's
That
his
Romanian.
That dude
yeah.
is he's
Mhm.
Freddie Mercury.
Oh,
like
yeah.
that's
Mhm.
handsome ass Sacha Baron Cohen with that
Yeah.
tash.
Because it's like we know his tash, how it can go with Borat. I mean, he can
Really
grow
go
that
for
thing
it.
out. Yeah. So
That's what really stuck out to me. I think that show is fine, but I can't. Not
Can't
with
super
not with
recommend it with,
not with
like-
everything, not with
Yeah,
everything else on
this
this
year.
list.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad I watched it, but no.
okay. Most flashbacks goes to True Detective season 3.
So Caleb, about in sequential
Yeah,
order.
so
Yeah.
this is one of the rare examples
I knew
I
this was
think
coming
where
up,
it
that's why.
works though. Like if you're gonna do it, you have to have a reason to do it. You know,
they do a really good
and
job
they
of tying
do.
A to B.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did a good enough job of Mahershala Ali looking different enough in
Yes.
each of those
Yep.
3 segments. Because it was 3, right? I'm not.
Yep.
Okay, it was 3 different time.
Yeah,
frames.
that's true. It's very clear
You
what
can tell
timeline
exactly,
they're
yeah.
in.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
yeah.
All the characters look different enough. Even Stephen Dorff looked different enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, in each one of those. I got that right. Right, it was Stephen Dorff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I think it's Dorn, but it's Dorf.
Dorff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Best death of Tom Hanks.
Wait, are we moving True Detective over? Should we?
Yeah.
Sure.
So Veep ended this year, And the way it ends is just absolutely brilliant. So this whole time, Julia Louis-Dreyfus plays the vice president of the United States who keeps trying to become president of the United States. Like that's her whole goal, but she keeps getting roped into being vice president. And finally, in the very last episode, she has the opportunity to become president, but there's one issue left that she's going to have to flip on in order to get the amount of votes. And it's gay marriage. And her daughter is gay. And she all along has been, I'm very supportive of my daughter, and she has to, in order to become president, she has to renounce gay people, and she does it so that she can become president.
Wow, this sounds like Vice now.
Yeah.
And so the show ends with her funeral. It's 20 years later after she's president. It's at her funeral, and the entire nation is like shows up to the funeral of Selena Meyer, the president, whatever. And then it's announced on the network that Tom Hanks has died, and immediately everybody leaves and everybody forgets about Selena Meyer, and they're all just devastated because Tom Hanks died.
It's pretty good.
And I'm like, that is the perfect way to end this.
That's actually really good. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a good way to end that.
Does Veep go over there?
What?
Does
No,
Veep go to the
I don't
list?
think it does.
No, okay.
But
All right.
Next award goes to the best blue penis.
What show could that
I
possibly
know,
be?
there's only one show that could be. I tried to think of other things
The
to write as an
Simpsons.
award for this, but I was just like, that's what sticks out is that blue penis. There's a lot of good things in that show.
Spoiler, it could be blue vagina going forward.
But could be.
I wonder if that show will come back.
I don't think it will.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
don't-
seem like it will.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's
I kind of hope it doesn't.
I
to be
do.
honest.
Yeah, it's one of those things like is less more in this
Yeah.
case. Like you take Watchmen, you set it 20 years in the future, and you just kind of make it your own thing.
which is what they did.
I love that. Like that's really good. Maybe that's enough.
Yeah, like
It could only go downhill from here.
Yeah.
I could see Westworld season 2 happening to Watchmen season 2 real easily.
Agreed.
yeah.
Did you guys like it enough to move it over? Personally, I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was revelatory like a lot of people.
I liked it a lot. I wouldn't say it's revelatory by any means. I enjoyed
Like
it.
after that premiere came out, there were a lot of places calling it the best series premiere of all time, and I'm like, pump the brakes. Just a little
The
bit.
Dr. Manhattan reveal was kind of mind blowing.
I thought a lot of that stuff was really cool. How they
I
the
thought
big
it was
reveal
too.
was at episode 4, where it's like, yep, nope, that was definitely a catapult the whole time, and he's hurling himself off of the moon.
Yeah. Oh God.
With Ozymandias.
Yeah, Ozymandias. That stuff was real good.
And then you realize like he throws the babies into the microwave and then grows the clones. All of that was really,
Which is wild.
then True is his daughter and all this stuff. Just like that was, it was rewarding to get all those reveals.
This
Yeah,
is
I really
another
enjoyed
case for me though, where the timelines kind of bummed me out a little bit, going back and forth.
I'll give that to you.
Because yeah, like the whole Ozymandian stuff, like you're just like the whole first like 2 or 3 episodes, you're like, what the fuck does it have to do with anything?
Yeah.
Like, why did they keep showing him? Like, what is going on?
I don't like Jeremy Irons, but what in the hell is going on
over there? Yeah.
And then come to find out the sheriff is just his adversary he made for himself because he was bored.
Bored? Yeah, he needed something to do. Like what? All right, keep that show moves over.
It does, okay.
Let's at least
let's move it
talk
over.
about it.
Best vampire in a comedy series.
Ghost 2.
Goes to What We Do in the Shadows. You watched this as well, right?
I did.
Yeah. I like the show a lot.
I do too. It's so
Yeah.
dumb.
It's really dumb, but it's funny. It's funny dumb. The apprentice vampire is
Oh,
the best
God.
character on that show.
There's
No, I take that back.
one of the other vampires is
what do
real
they call
great.
him?
I don't remember other names. It's been a while. It's like that was like I feel like the last
Bald
episode-
one that sucks the energy out of everyone.
energy vampire. I think is what they.
Yeah,
he said
that's
energy.
pretty funny.
That guy
yes.
sucks. Yeah, and it's
I
like,
don't like that show as much as you guys do, but
I love
pretty
him.
funny.
I love him as a character.
it's pretty funny. They open up the door and see him, and they're just like,
Yeah.
slowly close the door.
I don't think it needs to move over.
No,
but
I don't think it does.
It's one of the
either.
better.
I like
comedies.
the tone of that show a
Yeah.
lot, and just like its silliness, and yeah. Last award goes to the best show only Logan watched, because there's a lot of shows on here that only Caleb watched. We had the only show that Jason watched. This was also a series finale of You're the Worst.
How many seasons of that?
4. What?
On the day of their wedding, Jimmy and Gretchen
Here's the end.
of marriage.
Okay, there was the synopsis for one of the episodes.
How did Siri?
I don't know how I said series finale.
Oh,
So it must have caught that I said Siri, and it was like, you're the worst. So yeah. Anyway, no, that show suffered from too long. It was still an all right show, but it should have ended after 2 seasons, maybe 2.5. Like, hey, let's do 2 seasons and maybe 6 episodes. But otherwise, no, the show was fine to end it with, and it ended fine. But yeah. So
Okay.
that's the end of our awards.
was a
Holy
lot.
crap. Do we want to take another break, or do you want to?
I'm good to roll with you guys.
Roll deep.
You got 18 shows, right?
yeah.
Is that where we're at? I haven't even looked at that page yet. Okay. 18
This
shows.
is better than our game list. I feel like we have more usually that we're trying to pare down from games.
I think so too.
All right. Let's rattle off these are
Contenders.
18 contenders. The contenders. We might have to add some pretenders in here. I don't know. American Dad.
Can you do this in?
Sorry.
Can you? What was the voice you did? You're Logan Roy. Can you
Oh.
do this in?
Okay. my Brian Cox voice.
Yes, please.
Fuck off. All right. American Dad. That is number 1. Attack on Titan. Barry. Chernobyl. Conversations with a Killer. The Ted Bundy tapes. Fleabag. Glow. Mr. Robot. Stranger Things. What's this fucking show? Succession. The Boys. The Crown. The Deuce. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. The Morning Show. The Other 2. True Detective. Watchmen. And a quarter pounder with cheese.
You kind of slipped into a little bit of British.
I
there,
did.
but-
Well, there's a little bit of Irish in there. That's the problem.
There
Like,
might have even been some Picard in there,
Yeah.
or some
That
actually
was-
Professor Xavier. Sorry, that was
That was
probably.
a
Sorry.
very admirable attempt, though.
It's like I really have not done that impression at all up until that's why you're like you asked me to do it. I'm like, oh god. All right.
Is there anything on the list, obviously, seeing all of these together that does not fit?
Oh.
This is where it always feels like a personal attack on
Yeah.
someone's
It
face,
does.
and I don't. So it's hard because this is all
Uh-huh.
stuff that we liked enough to make an argument for. So
These are the best 18 shows of the year.
Sure.
Well,
They are.
there's fiction in fact, and this is fact. Logan, we like American Dad, but is American Dad one of the 10 best shows of the year?
I love American Dad, but it's probably not one of the 10 best
I'm
shows
with
of
you.
the year. Yeah.
But looking at this list,
I mean, yeah, does it make my personal list? Yeah.
me too.
Yeah.
I
It's
need
probably
to watch
gotta-
more of that.
It's probably got to go.
Yeah. Okay.
There's 18 of them.
I know, right? And it's its own style of show too, and it's like, yeah, I don't know. Man, they do a good job.
It's
with
hard.
that show.
It's actually hard to. It's really hard to compare comedies to dramas too. So
It is. It really is.
It gets a little weird, but
Caleb,
yeah.
does the Bundy tapes need to be on here?
I was literally going to ask you the same thing. So I think if we're both thinking that, then maybe it should leave.
Best documentary of the year.
I
right?
agree.
You know?
Yeah.
Best documentary.
It was
Okay.
the last documentary on the list. So
Congratulations, Ted Bundy.
I don't personally. I think The Boys should probably come off here.
yeah, I know. Jay, say if you're good with taking it off at this point, and we know it's lower on Jason's list, so take it off.
I enjoyed that show way more than I thought I would, but I don't think it
But
holds
doesn't
up
make your top
with
10.
yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, if we had like a biggest surprise of the year, I think that might be it.
Okay.
I would say the next one that I would probably nominate to take off the list would be The Morning Show.
I knew you were going after my baby.
Just because I think it's got some really high highs, but I don't think it's consistent all the way through.
And Jason has not seen it.
Yeah. But if you wanna throw something else out there, we can keep it for now too. I just didn't know how.
The only other one I would throw out there then is just because nobody else has watched it with you is Attack on Titan.
I really want that to stay.
The Crown can go.
You think so? You
If
made a pretty good argument.
If you
for it.
guys had watched
You
it,
made a legit argument
and
for it.
that's the problem. Like if you watched it and still didn't like it, then I would feel better about that. But also, if you had watched it and liked it, then I would make a stronger argument for it to be somewhere on the list. But I'm the only one that watched it, so and I feel more passionately about where other shows are ordered on this list than having The Crown on there.
So tell you what, go back in time, give me the synopsis you gave me for The Crown, and then I'll go back and watch it prior to this.
I wish that was
So
possible.
hop in your DeLorean, go back.
Be good. I'm
1955.
one flux capacitor short.
Okay.
Marty, it's your daughter. She's dating a black man.
I don't think we should be friends anymore. Oh, okay.
Shit.
Watchmen?
Look at this list.
I know.
Probably. Yeah. Yes. It barely made the list anyway.
right?
I liked it enough to keep it on this list, but that's fine.
I mean,
Just
if
look
you're
at the
saying I
rest of
liked it
them, though.
enough, that's. I mean, the rest of the stuff on the
All
list.
right,
I think,
Logan? Okay, so where are you at with the Watchmen versus the Morning Show and the other two and Mrs. Maisel?
I would cut Mrs. Maisel.
we could
Caleb.
we could do both actually, because Mrs. Maisel was. I think
This was the weakest season of
It,
Mrs.
it
Maisel.
was the weakest season, but I mean, the weakest season of Mrs. Maisel is still better than like 95% of shows.
True.
But,
Yes.
Okay.
so I say we cut both of those because we still got to make some tough cuts here.
Mm-hmm. What are we down to?
Down to
There's
12.
a number on the side. Or no, wait. Is there a number on the side?
I have numbers on the side.
Sorry, I've got too many windows open.
Oh, there's 12. We need two more cuts.
12.
Okay, so is there anything on this list that zero people are passionate about?
What are your guys' passions on the Deuce?
That's a good question because that would be up to you, Jason. Would you describe your feelings towards the Deuce as passionate?
Do you like the Deuce better than you like True Detective Season 3?
Yes.
You like the Deuce better than True Detective? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But Caleb also watched The Deuce.
Mm-hmm.
So you just don't have the same feelings about The Deuce that I do.
No, the second half of the season I do, but I thought the first half of the season was very slow and very boring. And I realized that it was
Really? Yeah, okay.
it was in service of setting up the second half of the season, so that's a little unfair as well. But
You don't get the second half of that season without the first half.
yeah,
And all of the, not because you know all these characters, you know them intimately as you're
Yeah.
supposed to with a David Simon show.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't agree with that, but that's okay.
Can I spoil something? Are you okay with me spoiling?
You're
the
not
Deuce?
going to. You're
The Deuce?
definitely. Yeah. You
Oh,
tried. You
I tried.
to watch that
I
show.
tried
Okay.
the Deuce, and it wasn't for me.
I just didn't know if it was on the
It's
list or
it's a
not.
Maggie Gyllenhaal thing.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I think
You're both just terrible.
It's really is going. No.
weirdly I want to say highlight, but that's a really weird way to put this. But what was I'm
Candy?
really terrible at names. Not Candy, the younger girl that goes to L.A.
Candy.
No, the younger.
Mandy. No, I don't-
Oh, sorry, Candy Renee. Lori Madison. Sorry.
Lori.
Yeah.
When Lori shoots herself, that was like, whoa! I did not see that coming, but I should have. Everything pointed to the fact that she was going to do that, and everybody on the show missed it, including me, that was a pretty powerful moment for me.
And Candy doesn't. Either she does and doesn't care,
Yep.
or doesn't understand.
Yep.
Candy could have saved her.
There's a lot of people that could have.
It's so heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that whole show is about, like the end of an era and these people dying off in tragic ways and not so tragic ways. I really do. I really like the unvarnished truth of a David Simon show, and he does not care what we want or what we think, Caleb. He's going to give us very true outcomes for characters. That's why I was surprised that there was even a death, let alone 2. And
Yeah, Frankie also, right?
yeah,
Or not Frankie.
Frankie. No, yeah, because Vince
Well,
lives, Frankie dies.
But yes, Frankie and also
Rudy.
Rudy and the bouncer. I forget his name.
Oh,
now.
what is his name? Yeah,
Mike.
you're right. Mike.
Is
Yeah,
it
Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he goes
Yeah.
up to the cabin to die.
yeah, because he had AIDS and he didn't want to deal with it, so he
Right.
just went up and died.
Yeah. And Vince finds him. Vince's relationship with Abby.
Yeah, there's a lot to like in that show.
I'm not saying you guys have to cut it. I'm just asking
Yeah.
which things you like better. So if we were to start cutting things,
Were you guys on Stranger Things? I like that show a lot,
Yeah.
but
I do too.
I think the 3rd season is fine. I love that show, but
Fine.
if we're talking specifically about this season, and if you guys feel more strongly about Glow,
Should we start locking some things versus trying to cut things?
Well, no, I don't think so because I think we're close. That's a good point. If you had to pick one, Logan, would you pick Glow or Stranger Things?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I didn't have an answer for it. Damn.
I would probably cut Glow in that case.
I think I would too.
And not saying that Glow was a bad season.
Glow was a
'cause
good
it was
season.
A very good season.
It was a very good season. The weird thing is they're both like, they both hit that nostalgia thing because
Yeah.
they're both set in that time frame. And
well,
it's like
Glow less so for me for nostalgia. I just like the story of Glow.
right, but it's set in the 80s. It's kind of got, I mean, it's that stuff going on. But yeah, I think Stranger Things is better than Glow.
Should we cut Glow? As tough as that is to do.
I'm okay. Because I know you like Glow better than the morning show.
Yeah.
I would put the morning show over those two, but if you would rather see that cut and keep Glow on for now,
We still have to cut 2 though.
I know.
do you guys think the other 2 has to stay? I haven't seen. That's why I haven't seen
Good
it.
question.
Like if it has to, if it doesn't have to stay, that makes things easier. But if it does have to stay, then we've got to come to a compromise.
Okay.
It's the only comedy left.
I would if I were to order them. If we were as things we were
Fleabag,
talking. Yeah,
yeah.
Fleabag's a comedy. That's for damn sure.
But it's pretty heavy as well though.
I think it and Barry are similar shows.
Yeah, it's more of a comedy than it is a drama, though. Where Barry, I'd say, is a good blend of both. If I had to order those things, I would say Stranger Things, the other 2 Glow.
I think we're in agreement on Glow.
That it needs to go.
That it should.
Okay.
It has glowed.
It's glown. Its light has burned out.
Sorry,
I
Glow.
like that show.
I do too. All right, now what?
Your Attack on Titan's killing me.
I know it, but it's so good.
We're at that point of like our game of the year thing where it's like, okay, this is like really high on my list. Does it make the list or not?
Yep.
Oh.
Toady was easier last year. There were a lot of good shows this year.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Yeah, and we all watched a lot more this year, I felt like, than last year.
I would
Do you have a
rather
proposal?
cut. Obviously, the morning show.
I know. yeah.
I would rather cut True Detective. I would probably rather cut Stranger Things over Attack on Titan.
I would rather cut Stranger Things over True Detective if True Detective is on the block. But If we were talking about the first season of True Detective, like there'd be no way.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
But I think
every
this is
season's different.
It's two's terrible and
Two's awful.
three's very good. So,
Yeah.
but it's still not one.
No.
And I know that's a weird thing to say because we're just comparing it, but I don't know. Like I would feel differently about True Detective in different seasons, and I feel like it's also had its day in a way. Mahershala Ali was very good, but this isn't necessarily an individual actor's award. It's the show as a whole.
Would you rather cut the morning show or True Detective? I know your answer is going to be the morning show. So let's just cut the morning show and leave True Detective on.
So how important, well, Logan, how important is the morning show to you compared to how important Attack on Titan is to Caleb? Like, is the
I
morning?
think you're the last offender on the morning show, right?
I am.
Is this
Well, you are the last defender
the
of
way
Attack
I'm
on
the-
Titan.
yeah.
So is Attack on Titan for you? This is like is the annual 10 the 10th Caleb spot. So
Right.
is for you, Caleb, as you look at these, is Attack on Titan like in your top 3 of the year? And Logan, is the morning show in your top 3 of the year? Let's put it in your respective lists. Let's break it down that way. How important are these to you individually, and then maybe let it
My list.
weight like a scale, a anecdotal scale.
I don't have an actual list, but I would say it would probably be number 3 for me.
Okay, so Logan, where is?
It's probably 3 or 4.
So they're of equal importance to both of you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was hoping there would be a differentiator there that would help make whatever is lower on your individual lists would have just a clear pick.
Right.
But if they are in the same spot, I don't know if I can solve it that way.
No.
So Stranger Things.
Or the other two.
I really don't think we should move Stranger Things out of there. I would rather see a show... I'd rather see something like the morning show fall out of there than something that we at least all universally liked versus a show that one of us really liked and one of us said was okay and the other one didn't see.
True.
That's my thought on it. So I'd rather see a show like Morning Show fall out versus Stranger Things. And same with True Detective. Since it's a comprehensive list. It's a group list.
True.
What's happening?
Okay. So
I think Logan is nominating the morning show to be cut. If I'm reading between the lines here.
So yeah, what I'm essentially saying is that if there are things that we all at least universally had better thoughts on, that we should keep that as a group, since this is a group list, then cut
But
some.
yes and no.
Then that's why it's like
Okay, how about this? There are 2 shows like that. Both in the 3rd season. Stranger Things and True Detective.
correct.
Collectively, what third season did we like better as a group? True Detective or Stranger Things?
I have a hard. The only thing it was because True Detective is an anthology show. Like that's the only thing about that. That's like because it's a contained story.
That's true.
Detective.
You like True Detective better than Stranger
More
Things?
than Stranger Things?
No, you said that's true, and I just followed it with
Oh,
Detective.
that was. I thought you were just like giving a
That's
vote.
so True Detective.
If we're talking between those two, I would rather cut True Detective than Stranger Things.
You?
I'd rather cut True Detective than Stranger Things, but I think I'd rather see the morning show get cut over again, just because I think that the True Detective is more universally liked amongst this group than. Did you like True Detective better than the morning show?
Yes.
Then keep True Detective on, take morning show off.
Okay. I feel bad because we're cutting your one
I
of your
don't-
favorite
I-
shows,
I-
and one of mine that neither of you watched is still on here. But
You're more passionate about Attack on Titan than I am about the morning show.
and the only reason, in fairness, the only reason that Attack on Titan isn't number one is because there was some freaking outstanding TV this year.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, we're talking about maybe one of my favorite seasons of all time. So like, how can shows compete with
that's
that?
What I mean. Yeah. Like it's to this year's, I mean, okay. So we throw in, I would assume that now Attack on Titan and True Detective are at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, that's gotta be right.
Mm-hmm.
And Attack on Titan should probably be in that 10 spot,
Okay.
as usual.
And True Detective number 9. All right. I think, you know what? I think the other two in the deuce are probably maybe close to where they should be. We'll let Caleb. I'll let you decide whether they need to flip flop.
I'm
indifferent.
Since you've seen both of them,
you're indifferent, Jason. Then I would flip those if you're indifferent.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay. I think then by virtue of where it's been talked about, Stranger Thing probably goes to number 6, right?
Yeah, if not lower.
Okay. Does it need to go lower?
For me personally, probably not. But
I'm willing to put the other two above it, but after that, I don't know if I'd put anything else above it.
No, I think we could probably keep
I'm good
it
with
there.
where it's at. Oh boy.
Now
It's top
we get to the
5.
top spot.
It's top 5. We're down to Barry, Chernobyl, Fleabag, Mr. Robot, and Succession. Can I throw Chernobyl at number 5? Recommend that?
Man, really?
No, look at the other 4.
Yeah, you're right. But wow,
That's my only thought.
Chernobyl is number 5. This is like that year when I had to put Super Mario at number 5.
It was like, yeah,
really?
Like, I know any other year that falls somewhere else, but
Are you in agreement, Jason?
Jason's nodding his head over
Okay.
there. Yes, Chernobyl goes to 5.
Yes.
Fuck my
I know.
ass. Barry, Fleabag, Mr. Robot, Succession. I'm literally going off of what you guys talked about from Mr. Robot. I think that sounds like a great concept.
That,
and the way that
personally,
they did that.
that would be number 1 for me
Me too.
by a pretty
Really?
by a pretty wide margin, to be honest.
Okay.
I've in an era of great TV, we still don't know how to end television shows.
Yeah.
No,
Let alone
nobody does.
surprise and please. The end of Mr. Robot is when he comes to in an alternate universe and he actually is living in the Elliot that he's protecting's world, and it's everything that he's always wanted, and it is heartbreaking. Every fantasy he's ever had, the girl of his dreams he's marrying, the job of his dreams he has, the best friend in the world he has in his father. His father's having a flourishing business. Like, it's literally upside down, and it's every wonderful thing that he's never had. And he's like, what the hell is going on?
And we didn't even talk about the episode that is the kind of the breakdown. The whole episode is set up like a play.
Yeah.
There's one camera and it just kind of goes back and forth through the room. Well, there's not one camera, but it kind of it's set up like a stage.
Yeah.
And it's
And-
done in acts.
Yeah, it's done in acts, and there's in particular that I don't know his name. I've never seen him in anything else, but the drug dealer dude is phenomenal. That episode.
Born to play that
And
role.
They bring in a psychiatrist who's worked with him in the past to try to get him to realize some of the stuff that's happened to him. And to,
What this dealer wants to do is have Elliot work for him.
yeah,
Like he wants to expand his operations behind corners, besides corners, and he wants to actually add a hacker to his stable. And in doing so, he figures out who his therapist is, kidnaps the therapist, and makes Elliot confront the undeniable thing inside of him that's broken. And in that, it's revealed that his father abused him. But this character doesn't know that, and we don't know it at the time because his job is to insulate the real Elliot. And so it is a discovery to him in this moment. And this dealer knew that something was wrong with Elliot. I know inside of you something's wrong, and she's going to help me break you. And once you're broken, I can reposition you, brainwash you to be mine. and that's what the episode is.
I think he
Then-
says at one point, I need to break him down to build him back up again.
Yep.
And
Which
it's like,
then obviously you end up finding out at the very, very end, right?
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. And then it's heartbreaking because Elliot's like, what is happening? And he literally cannot accept these good things.
mhm.
He's panicking because everything is right. And it's fucking crushing. It's
And
crushing.
the psychiatrist knows that it is way too soon for him to be coming to these realizations. She doesn't want to do it, but she's literally got a gun to her head. So she's got to talk him through this situation the best she can. She gives a great performance too. Everybody in that episode does. It's-
Christian Slater is unbelievable in that
Yeah.
episode too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, Christian
he plays
Slater's in that.
he plays his father, and his father is in the room and screaming, "Don't, no! Your father abused you." Christian Slater's gone
Yep.
because he's a figment of his imagination. You think Christian Slater is the extra personality of the whole show, and he's just alongside another one for a ride. One of the personas is his father. The other one is the hacker Elliot, who we think the show is about. But no, they're contemporaries. They're both protecting the real Elliot.
Weird.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's very complicated
It's so
to try to explain
rewarding.
in like 5 minutes, but
It's so
I know,
rewarding.
I'm trying to figure out the timelines here of
Yeah.
everything in my head. But all right, if you guys want to throw to number one, throw to number
I
one.
think it should be a number one, especially if you have my back on it, Jason. I think it needs to go number one.
yeah.
Okay, that leaves a 2, 3, and 4 slot for Barry, Fleabag, and Succession.
Can we
Flip
just-
3 and 4 and we're done.
Agreed. That was easy.
Logan?
Logan.
Is that okay?
I'm looking at it and trying to figure out if there's any other reasoning I have, and I don't think I do.
I love Succession so much, but I really like Barry.
Yeah.
Barry is, Barry's fucking incredible, and I mean,
It's undeniable.
yeah.
I kind of want to put Succession up there, but I just can't because Barry's so great. Everything
And
about Barry.
like you said before, I think it's important to recognize something that's slightly different than other things. Like, not that Succession is like formulaic or anything like that, but there are other shows that are heavy drama, family. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I
and
mean,
Barry is not like anything else.
No, Barry's
So,
not like anything out there.
I think
there's
that's the right
there's been
decision.
family drama shows for years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically. I mean, This Is Us is a family drama.
Well, that's
yeah,
okay.
but less like
it's getting late. We're getting loopy.
I know. Well, I'm just saying that you're not wrong in that. Like,
Yeah.
it's not like it's a.
thank you for the chicken, Logan. Did you see that? He ate my chicken. What's he gonna do? Put his cock in my potato salad? It's so good. That's the thing about Succession that I love is it's genuinely hilarious.
There are
It's very
parts of that.
quotable.
It's so funny.
You can't make a Tomlin without breaking some Gregs.
This is exactly a lot of business. You
Yeah.
mean we're literally listening to them, Greg?
Yeah.
Yes. You mean we hear you?
But-
We're literally hearing them.
On the flip side of that, like, and I want to say this just because we didn't talk about Barry a ton.
No.
Barry, every time an episode of Barry ended, I was like, oh, keep going.
Exactly.
I know.
Like, it was like as soon as Barry would end, it was just like, what the fuck? And even at that, the cliffhanger we're on right now is just like a what the fuck?
Yeah.
Anybody know when that's coming back?
I don't know.
It is this year, right?
I mean, it is this year, but I feel like Barry was like March of last year.
Not for a while, probably. Man, the title card is always funny too.
Because it's
There's
always,
always
just that,
something
like,
that leads into.
dun, 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 dun. And then it just
always
cuts
funny.
off for
Yeah.
no random reason. Like,
Yeah, one of my friends, the other Jason, asked me for recommendations because he's at home with a newborn. So he's
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I have some TV time now.
Yeah.
So what should I watch? And I said Barry, and he's like, well, what is that? I've never even heard of it.
just watch it.
How do I even describe this show?
It sounds absurd too.
Yeah.
You're like, well, this hitman gets the acting bug when he's
right.
trying to kill somebody. You're just like, immediately when I hear myself say that, I'm like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
It sounds terrible. Why would I watch this?
Bill Hader, the guy from SNL. What?
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Oh, and the Fonz is in it too.
Yeah,
What?
He's brilliant.
He is.
He's so good. Oh man. Have you ever heard of The Art of Harry Carey, Barry?
that show's great. Oh,
Is this our list?
I think it's our list. So our list is number 10, Attack on Titan. Number 9, True Detective. Number 8, The Deuce. Number 7, The Other Two. Number 6, Stranger Things. Number 5, Chernobyl. Number 4, Fleabag. Number 3, Succession. Number 2, Barry. And our TV show of the year is Mr. Robot. Not Mr. Roboto, Mr. Robot.
Oh, that could have been a moment.
What?
They're waiting to break out Mr. Roboto until the final episode.
Yeah.
Oh, they really? They
When the title, there's
I
always
figured it never
music
went,
when it says
yeah.
Mr. Robot,
Uh-huh.
and then it's and it pops up Mr. Robot, and you're just like, wow, you had that one in the chamber
Yeah.
the whole
I
time.
waited 4 seasons to do this.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys put together a random top 10 sitting here? No,
This is
okay.
it.
This is it?
This is
Okay.
I did. No, I didn't.
I didn't know if I saw Jason typing at one point. So
No,
thought
I
you
was
were-
looking up references for some of the. I wanted to be able to give proper credit to that scene in The Deuce, so I watched it. I pulled up HBO now and watched it.
Got it. Yeah, the only other thing I just threw together my list, I would have had The Boys, The Morning Show, Watchmen, American Dad, and Glow would have been in my list because I didn't watch Mr.
Those are
Robot.
all fair. Like I feel like this was an especially tough year.
It is. It was
Yeah.
We had a top 18.
I feel like we had maybe a slightly easier time with games this year, but
Yeah.
a way tougher time with TV.
Yeah, TV. There's a lot of TV this is the golden age of television.
And like 2020 has not eased up either. Like I just
Coming out of the
counted-
gate hot 2020. There's stuff on HBO and Netflix right damn now to watch.
I am
We're
currently
watching on HBO right now.
The Outsider,
Oh,
I
right.
wanna
keep
watch
hearing
that too.
that's a good show to watch. So.
McMillions.
Yeah, well, it's only one episode in, right?
Yeah, but I'm
Okay.
just
Two,
saying, like,
two.
there
It's
are-
2
yeah.
came out. When did
yesterday.
Okay, I wasn't sure when
Mondays.
they're Mondays. Okay, because FBI agent Doug he's my new favorite guy.
Like I just made a list of this year so far, and I'm caught up. I'm like watching concurrently 14 shows are on at the same time.
I'm still trying to finish old shows.
It's 2020 is ridiculous.
All right, I am looking up Barry season 3, and then I'm calling it a day.
We're gonna get Barry still. We're gonna get Atlanta still. We're gonna get
Succession
Fargo
season 3.
We're gonna get Better Call Saul.
I love that. I love that Succession is so manageable from a production standpoint because it's just camera, makeup, action. Like
Let them act.
they
Let them
can
go.
bang. They can
Yeah.
bang out a season of that show.
The only thing is
quickly.
they do a lot of remotes. I mean, like they go like
Oh,
in
true.
Ireland, like because they do a lot of different places where they go.
and they show like. Do you guys watch there's usually the interviews with
I
the
don't usually
writers at
watch
the end.
those.
To your point, I wouldn't have known, but they actually traveled to the spots that they were in.
I figured they did.
went
I
to
mean,
those locations.
There was enough usually in the background that was like, yeah, this isn't a set or
Like-
this isn't like Vancouver.
Logan's
like-
party in
Mm,
Ireland
yeah.
was really there.
Mm.
Then they went to when during the acquisition, the other family, the CNN family that's trying to buy them, more or less, that was on location. So they do a nice job of that.
Yeah.
There is no date for season 3. In an interview that Bill Hader did in August, he said they are expecting to start production in November. So
Like November of 2019.
November 2019.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, the season 2 premiered at the end of March of 2019. So, but there is still no promotional material or anything yet for season 3. So yeah, because
Just real quick, the highlights of 2020 so far.
Mhm.
The Aaron Hernandez documentary was decent. It wasn't.
How many episodes?
Three.
How many episodes?
Just three.
3 episodes
Yeah.
of that. Okay.
Yeah, it's not as good as some of the other ones, but it's decent. Mythic Quest on Apple TV is actually really good. It's not super funny.
is
but-
that the show with this Always Sunny guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're
Is that
30
a
minute
game
episodes.
development show?
Yeah, it's all
or-
about game development.
Okay.
Logan, for some reason, I think you might like that. I don't know why, but I
I
think
might
you
give
might
it a
like
shot.
Curb Your Enthusiasm has been incredible this year.
I need
so
to
far.
watch that. I've always bounced on and off Curb.
There's
so-
there's an episode where he finds out that if he puts on a MAGA hat, that people will leave him alone. So like every time he gets into an awkward situation, he just takes the hat out of his pocket, puts it on, and people just
That's
walk away from him.
pretty great. That's solid.
McMillions has been really good
Yeah.
so far, and Harley Quinn on the DC universe is very good.
I will say, when you told me that there was thing on the DC universe thing about Harley Quinn, I'm like, the movie just came out and kind of bombed.
Yeah.
Like-
No, this is an animated show, but it is definitely not for children.
Okay.
Like 100%
there is a
not for
DC
children.
like Harley Quinn show, I think, that is cartoonish. I think that is for kids, but this is probably not it. So, okay. Thanks for the warning on that. Not like I'm paying for DCU by
Yeah.
any means, but
Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure she says the F word probably 5 times in the
who
first 30
plays Harley
seconds.
Quinn then in this?
I don't remember.
That's really weird to have like a TV series that's also like alternate. This is why DC's fucked up.
yeah.
Like, why would they do that?
What do you guys know about The Undoing? The Nicole Kidman
Undoing.
Hugh Grant show on HBO.
Literally nothing.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, there's a series
I'm
about.
assuming it's not out yet, right? Like it's coming.
No, it's coming. It's coming on in March 1st. It's looking like a strong year for HBO as far as I don't know. I think HBO is going to ask us to try new things this year. It seems like.
Well, they're gearing up for their new HBO Max service too,
Oh,
so
that makes
that's going to
sense.
be
Stuff.
well, The other thing is supposedly they're almost close to inking the final deal to get the Friends movie, a reunion movie.
Yeah.
Jeez, that should print money, right?
Yeah, that basically prints money. Yeah, I mean, you pay each of those guys a few million, and you're going to be fine, because that's what Friends is already off of Netflix and moving to HBO Max.
Kaylee Cuoco plays Harley Quinn.
Okay, that makes sense. Like a poor man's Margot Robbie.
Like the rest of the cast is pretty good too. Alan Tudyk, Jason
yeah.
Alexander, Diedrich Bader, Ron Funches is really good.
Ron Funches,
he plays
okay.
King Shark. It's really good. Tony Hale and JB Smoove.
I could see like this actually being something good because they're not trying. Like they're probably like, just go and do your own thing over there. Like where they try
Yeah.
too hard in the movies.
Yeah.
You're just never going to be Marvel when it comes to the movies.
Like it's really funny.
And then watch Marvel. Actually, Marvel end up shitting the bed with their TV stuff.
yeah.
It doesn't look like it so far, but because that WandaVision stuff looks incredible.
Man, I could not be less interested in that stuff. I don't know.
I know.
I don't know what it is, but I can't get excited for any of that.
WandaVision looks really weird.
It does look super weird.
I'm enthralled with that because I'm
Yeah.
just like, this looks real wild and doesn't make any sense. And it's supposed to lead right into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse for the movie. So anyway, it's late. We should probably wrap it up.
Nice job, gentlemen. Logan, what's the top 10 one more time?
Oh, gee whiz. Number 10 is Attack on Titan. Number 9, True Detective. Number 8, The Deuce. Number 7, The Other Two. Number 6, Stranger Things. Number 5, Chernobyl. Number 4, Fleabag. Number 3, Succession. Number 2, Barry. And number 1, Mr. Robot. This has been your awards for 2019 Television of the Year. Good day, everyone.